Max, have to take your pills.
Stuff them, Derek. They're not going to do me any good.
Now, don't talk that way. You are going to get well.
Want a bet? Give me a cigar.
Oh, no. Your doctor said...
My doctor is a schnook. His pills, visits, consultations, and he charges me thousands of dollars to tell me I'm dying. Now, I told him.
Max, you are not dying.
Why is everybody so upset? We're all going to die sooner or later, so what's the big deal? Give me a match. I'm going to miss these. Say, what the hey? St. Peter probably has an unlimited supply direct from Cuba. And as for my cars, they're going to be toys for a man younger than I am.
You're incredible, Max. A lot of people are never going to forget you.
And we're going to see that they don't, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. The rally course is all laid out. I have gotten clearances from all the appropriate authorities.
And now there's nothing left but for me to die.
Oh, Max.
All right. You keep forgetting how sensitive you are.
You sure you want to go through with this? I mean, the idea of 5 couples rallying to win $2 million in antique cars.
Why not? I want whoever gets them to really want them. And the guy that wants them most will do whatever he has to win them.
Yeah, and that's just what I'm afraid of.
Don't worry. You'll be there to see things go all right. And so will Stu McMillan.
Shall we have a seat, please, if you will? Thank you. We are gathered here today at his request to wish Maxwell Abbott Godspeed and a good journey. And he asked me to tell you, his closest friends, not to mourn him, but to rejoice in the knowledge that his road will be straight and smooth as he wends his way to that final pit stop in the sky. And to quote Max again, "When I take the final checkered flag, I do so knowing that I have your love and your prayers." As you know, I've been Max's friend and attorney for the past several years, but some of you know me as the rally master for the Golden State Rally Club, which is held out of Monterey. And this year's event, which begins next Thursday, will be a memorial in memory of Max. Now, some time ago, when Max knew the end was near, he began working long hours preparing a course that would challenge the best of you. So that makes this year's event very special. That and one other consideration. With Max's passing, there are only 5 charter members remaining in the Golden State Rally Club: Stu McMillan, George Nolan, Tom Wheatley, Harry Jerome, and Al Potter. Each one of you 5 has a very special reason for participating in this year's event. Now, he considered all of you dear and valued friends, but what to leave you? Money? Possessions? That which he loved most was always this museum and his prized collection of vintage cars. Therefore, while the other participants will be competing for the usual trophies, Max's will stipulates that the winner among you 5 will inherit this entire museum and every one of its priceless cars. Now, Max told me he couldn't bear to have the collection broken up, so it's a case of winner take all. And he also knew that some of you hadn't competed for some time, so he urged me to be sure that you understood the instructions and the conditions for the running of the rally. So I urge you to take one of these with you before you leave. And to each and every one of you, good luck. Thank you.
Well, that wasn't exactly your normal run-of-the-mill memorial service, was it?
Maxwell Abbott isn't your normal run-of-the-mill tycoon either.
I'm gonna miss the old guy. They sure broke the mold when they made him.
Man, he designed some kind of rally.
I don't know. It almost seems sacrilegious to be competing for these cars of his.
Look at it. If he didn't want it, he wouldn't have put it in a will. It'd be almost sacrilegious not to compete.
Besides, children, all these old cars must be worth a couple of $1 million.
Ah, same old sentimental Harry.
Don't give me that, baby. You'd like to get your hands on those cars as much as I would.
Harry, we're here to bury Maxwell, not to appraise him.
Yeah, besides, Harry, you need another couple million like a hole in the head.
Isn't it in the will that the entire collection must remain intact?
So, when I win it, I'll sell it intact.
Yeah. That's me. Who's this? Yeah. How'd you find me? Sure, I don't mind picking up a few bucks. What do I gotta do? How much? No way. $600 minimum, and I'm gonna need a partner. Okay, $5. It's a deal. Well, shouldn't I know who you are? Okay, anything you say. Except I don't move until I got the dough. Yeah. I'll be looking for it in the mail. Hiya. Yeah, it's me. Did I wake you? Want to do a job? Good. Got some guy called me. He wants us to mess around a couple of people. Yeah. He's paying $200. That's $100 a piece. Yeah, I told him that, but he said take it or leave it. And we needed dough, so I took it. Look, if you don't want to do it, I can get somebody else. Okay, that's better. Okay, get over here first thing in the morning. We'll map it all out. All right. Goodbye.
Mildred, what about this?
Yeah, what about this?
You don't like it.
I don't like it any more than I did when you bought it 4 years ago.
What am I gonna wear? I haven't got anything to wear.
Well, what's this, chopped liver? Besides, you're gonna be in a car for 4 days. Nobody will see you from the neck down.
Mildred, there's gonna be parties, there's gonna be awards ceremonies, there's gonna be all kinds of things. I have to have 4 separate changes.
Okay, what about the blue maternity gown that shows off all your assets?
Yeah, that's at the cleaner.
No, came back yesterday. You're kidding.
Mildred! Mildred. Getting a little claustrophobic.
You know, they didn't make sexy maternity things like this when I was your age.
You never had any children anyway, Mildred.
Well, I might have if I could have sashayed around in something like this. Hey, listen, do me a favor, will you? Pack the rest of this stuff for yourself. I gotta go check dinner. The commissioner will be home in a minute.
Ah, forgot to tell you, he's gonna be late. He had to pick up our rally car.
Rally car? Hubba, hubba. What's the matter with the station wagon?
Mildred, don't you know anything? You cannot drive a station wagon in a sports car rally. It is simply not done.
I'm terribly sorry.
Men.
The secretary's gone, sir.
A few more minutes. Something the matter? You just broke the thermometer.
Sir, I promised Sue that we'd pick her up at 6:15.
Well, I've got to get these papers signed. I'm going to be gone 4 days.
Oh, well, isn't there something there that I could help you with tomorrow?
Afraid not. These all have to be signed by the commissioner. How many bullets you fire a week?
I don't know, sir. 30, maybe 40. Mainly at target practice.
You know that the price of bullets went up over 20% in the past year?
Is that a fact, sir?
If every man in the department fired 10 less bullets, that's 9,000 bullets. Let's see, that would be, well, over $1,600. Times 52 gets us to about $85,000 a year.
That's more than I make in a month, sir.
Well, I can tell you're not interested in my budgetary problems.
Oh, well, sir,
Why should you? I mean, it's the commissioner's responsibility, not yours.
You know, it must be lonely at the top, sir.
Okay, that does it.
Do you mind if I use the phone, sir?
No, go ahead.
It's a local call. Sure. Yeah, I want to call Sue and tell her that we're picking her up in about, what, 10 minutes?
I appreciate you dropping me off, sir.
Oh, don't mention it. I've told Sue so much about you that she's dying to meet... Hello, Sue. Charles here. Well, the commissioner and I are just leaving the office, so we should be there in about 10 minutes. Right. Meet you downstairs. Okay.
Charles here?
Well, she always calls me Charles. She is a very stylish woman.
Thanks, Charlie.
You want Sue and me to wait for you, Commissioner?
No, I think the car should be ready by now. Thanks anyway. Nice to meet you, Sue.
Likewise, Commissioner.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good luck, Mac.
Hello, Floyd.
Commissioner.
Looks terrific.
Looks. Where do you get on the road? Look here, quarter-inch, sheet metal all around. You won't get no holes in your gas tank, or you're all fun. Looks like you and Mr. Tanner gonna have a real smooth trip.
I'm not taking Mr. Tanner. I'm just stealing his car. I'm taking my wife. That's why I wanted you to work on it. Those roads are pretty rough in places.
Rough? You don't know rough, Commissioner. Why, in the old days, me and my dad, Floyd Sr., we used to make these deliveries in the dead of night over roads you wouldn't want to walk down, let alone drive. Makes me dry just thinking about it. You want a beer, Commissioner?
No, thank you. How much do I owe you?
$128.90.
I'll take the beer.
Sure thing.
Listen, are you sure you want to go through with this thing? Okay, how many other pregnant ladies are going to be in on this road rally?
I know I'm doing something wrong.
Could have told you that last week when you let the commissioner pledge that car collection to the Policeman's Benevolent Fund if you won.
Mildred, the Policeman's Fund is a very good cause. Besides, it would be wrong for a police commissioner to keep $2 million.
I'll keep it for him.
Mildred.
Listen, all I know is there are going to be a bunch of cars running around a bunch of back roads trying to find their way to the nearest bar.
It's really very simple. You just follow a certain course at a certain speed. Then the team with the fewest penalty points wins.
Oh, sure, it sounds simple. Turn left after the little pig. It's right on State Route 432. Reduce speed to 45 miles an hour and go 1 mile. Turn left at the dirt road at the schoolhouse.
Max says the real trick is to stay on course and not get lost, but I'd kind of like to stay on time, too.
That's how you're going to stay on time with that thing?
This and a stopwatch. Here, for instance, you're going down the highway at 60 miles an hour.
And you get a ticket. Haven't you heard they reduced the speed rate to 55 miles an hour? A.J. Foyt just entered the pit area downstairs. Oh, just need salt.
Now, since there's 60 minutes in 1 hour and we want to go 30 miles an hour, that's about 2 minutes per mile, right?
I don't think it's salt, it's oregano. What'd you do with the oregano?
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Mac to go 1 mile and I'll time it with the watch. That way, if we do it in less than 2 minutes, I know he's going too fast. If he does it in more than 2 minutes, we're going too slow. It's really very simple, Mildred.
If it's so simple, how come you've been sitting there since 9 o'clock this morning wearing out all those pencils?
I need practice. I'm sure I'm going to get the hang of it.
She's a beauty.
Never mind the flattery. You'll eat when it's ready.
Hello, Mildred.
Hi, Commish.
What a machine. I'd forgotten how much fun it can be driving one of those things.
Oh.
You know, when my brother was 10 years old, he got a red two-wheeler for Christmas. Had the same look in his eye.
Mildred, will you stop being such a party poop? Doesn't this give you the opportunity to go and see your sister for a few days?
I knew you'd get around to that.
Too much oregano. Harry Jerome. Until last week, I hadn't seen him in 12 years. Ever since he went to Hollywood.
Dead-end roads don't count. Dirt roads do count. Dead-end roads don't count.
You remember that terrible X-rated movie of his we saw last year?
How can I forget? You made me sit through it twice.
It only seemed like twice. He never did have much taste. Sure knows how to make a buck.
Yes. Well, imagine how much alimony he's paying now. He's on his third wife.
He can afford them, believe me.
Mac, what do you suppose made Maxwell Abbott do it?
Do what?
Well, set up the whole rally so that winner takes all.
Well, I've been thinking about that myself. You had to know Max. He lived for competition. He figured it brought the best out in everybody.
Didn't it ever occur to him that competing for $2 million might bring out the worst?
Obviously not. But I just can't believe any of us would go off the deep end over this thing.
Oh, no. Didn't you hear them bickering at the memorial service?
That's called gamesmanship.
Oh.
Don't forget the five of us rallied together for a lot of years. We used to be just about equal in ability. So you had to get an edge any way you could.
I don't know, Mac.
What's to know? You just get your charts straight and your watch wound and leave the rest to me.
Speaking of competition, I think Mildred was right. You do have a funny look in your eyes. Oh, Mac. I'm scared. Well, you guys have been doing these things for years. I'm going to get out there and make a fool out of myself.
Oh, not without help. I haven't been on one of these rallies for 9 years.
Mac, what's confusing me is one-way streets.
Why don't we talk about this in the morning?
I'm serious. I'm trying to concentrate.
So am I.
Now, if it's a one-way against you, then you don't count it. But
Sally.
if it's a one-way in the direction that you're going,
Sally.
then you do count it. Unless it's a forced turn. Now, is that right? You've got to know if that's right. You've got to know what a forced turn is. I don't even know what a forced turn is. I need practice.
So do I. Now.
What were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Neither do I. I think I hear something down in the garage.
It's the cat.
We don't have a cat.
Oh. Well, I'll look later.
Could you look now?
If somebody's down there, Mildred will get him.
That's Ned Tanner's car down there. If it were ever stolen, he'd never forgive you.
All right, all right, all right. But if you're asleep when I get back, I'll never forgive you. I shouldn't.
Freeze, Buster, I'll blow your head off.
It's me.
Hi, Commissioner. Gee, you had me scared. I heard somebody moving around downstairs in the garage.
It was me. Go back to bed.
Oh, really? What were you doing? Tucking away your new little car for the night?
Good night, Mildred.
Well, that's easy for you to say. You could sleep through a war. But when I'm awakened, it's very hard to get back to sleep.
Want a sandwich?
I don't know. What do you got there?
I don't know. I can't see it. Turn on the light.
No. I don't want you to see me with my rollers in.
That's very considerate of you.
I tell you what. You make yourself a sandwich, and I'll go to my room. And then when I hear you leave, I'll come out, okay?
Okay. Say, Mildred?
Yeah?
How can you possibly sleep with those things in your hair?
Carefully, Commissioner. Very carefully.
Sally, you ready? Come on, let's go. Let's hit the road.
I've just got a few more things to pack, and I'll be ready to go.
You had all week to pack.
Do you want to take the blue and white one or the yellow one?
The blue, white, or yellow what?
Never mind. I packed them both. That way you'll have a choice.
Now, look, I don't want to have to rush. I want us to just mosey along, stop, have a nice leisurely lunch.
I know. I'm ready. You take the green one, the beige one, and the red one, and I'll take this one.
What happened to women's lip?
I'll get the door.
Sport.
Oh.
Sally?
Mac, now you know what you can get us for our next anniversary.
There isn't going to be an anniversary if you don't get that thing repacked.
Well, you're getting upset.
No, I am not getting upset. I'm already there on my way to being furious.
Oh, now, Mac, I have to wear something. Besides, I got a lot of really neat new dresses.
Well, how are we supposed to fit all of this stuff into that car?
Oh. Well, let's leave the brown one at home. We can do without that.
Right. The brown one has my stuff in it.
Well, you know you always overpack for an occasion. Be careful.
Oh, excuse me.
Gee, it's too bad you tried to move this thing. It sounded great standing still. It's getting late, Commissioner. If you're taking its temperature, forget it. I think it's dead.
Commissioner, you've been fiddling, making a few adjustments.
Never touched it.
Beats me. Boy, I'm hot.
Would you like a beer, Floyd?
I love that, Commissioner.
128.90.
I'm a son of a gun. Sugar.
Sugar?
Looks like someone's having a little joke on you, Commissioner.
A joke?
Sugar in the gas line clogs up the engine.
Well, I don't think that's very funny.
No.
Well, you better call the tow truck.
How long will it take to fix it?
Tomorrow, late in the day.
Oh.
Tomorrow? We have to be in Monterey this afternoon. Registration at 3 o'clock. First car goes out tomorrow morning at 7:01.
I'll call my sister.
Wait a minute, Mildred. Wait a minute, Mac. Do we have to drive a sports car in the rally?
Oh, Sally.
Well, why couldn't we drive the station wagon?
Station wagon in a sports car rally?
Raising your voice.
I am not raising my voice.
Commissioner, what about your wife's OMG over there?
Oh, that old thing. I doubt if it would make it. It's got a broken shock. All 4 tires are bald.
It ain't pretty, but I could fix it up so to get you there and back home again. You can have it for
$128.90. Well, there's no way we're going to get this one in. It's as simple as that.
You can't leave that one behind, Mac, because it's got a lot of very important things in it.
What, for example?
Well, for example, it's got your underwear.
Oh, well, something's got to give.
Just take those out, will you? Put them on the ground. Now,
What are you going to do?
I'm simply going to take the contents of suitcase number 4 and redistribute it among the contents of suitcases number 1, 2, and 3.
It's a simple law of physics that you can't diminish volume by rearranging mass.
I never heard of that law.
You never took physics.
Nonetheless, it's canceled out by my law.
Which is?
Which is I never wear the same outfit twice on a road rally. Now, just close this one up, and then close that one up. Put them in the car, and we'll be on our way.
It won't close.
You haven't even tried.
You're going to have to sit on this one.
I can't sit on that one. If I sit on it, the wind will ruin my hair.
To close it.
Oh.
There.
Mac, I thought you said that Floyd put in new shocks.
He did. Right in the glove compartment.
Ah. Are your legs okay?
Oh, they're fine. They don't make them like this anymore.
I can see why. I still say that we should have brought that red suitcase.
This is not a fashion show.
Just because you don't care what you wear. I mean, that hat, that must be 10 years old.
20. Won in my first rally. Use it as a good luck charm.
You couldn't have dry cleaned it?
I did.
Oh. Come on, Mac, get the luggage. I'm dying for a shower.
You'll have to take one for me.
Why?
I'm stuck.
What?
My legs won't move.
Did they fall asleep?
No, they're wide awake.
Come on, take my hand.
It's gonna
Ready?
hurt.
No, it won't. There, how'd that feel?
I was right. It hurt.
Oh.
Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan, you all right?
Hi.
Of course I'm all right.
Aren't you supposed to be competing in a Corvette?
It's too long a story. Everyone here?
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't miss this one. A lot more at stake this time than the usual trophy.
I know. Maybe too much.
Do you know that somebody put sugar in our gas line of our Corvette?
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Well, I think we can expect a little gamesmanship, but it won't be anything serious.
I hope you're right.
Oh, by the way, Louise and George Nolan are in 126, and I believe the message for you and Mrs. McMillan was, the party won't start till you come through the door. Hurry.
Right. Never ignore a party in distress.
Killing me. I'm gonna drive 1,000 miles in the next 4 days.
$2 million, Harry. That's how.
Here, make yourself useful.
That's what I love about you, Harry. You're so gallant.
Tom! Della!
Harry!
Tell her I got the same old shag.
You better believe it. Harry, you look just dreadful.
Not half as dreadful as you're gonna look when we win this rally. Della, you look marvelous.
Ah, don't flatter me, Harry. I'm still going to tell you what I thought about that last picture of yours.
Oh, spare me. Oh, you guys didn't get a chance to meet my wife at the memorial service. Tom Weekly, my favorite heart surgeon. Della, my wife, Gwyneth.
Hi.
Glad to meet you. Listen, why don't we go in and join the party?
The ball and chain here is a little tired. How about a rain check till tonight?
Okay, 6-ish.
You're on, you're on.
Nice to meet you. say one thing about Harry. Time certainly hasn't dimmed his eye for talent.
Yeah, the names changed, but the faces all seem the same. What wife is that? Third, fourth?
With Harry, who counts?
Have you seen my pills?
I put them in the small red suitcase. I didn't think you'd need them so quickly.
Who is the doctor around here?
Tom, these rallies are supposed to be fun.
Not this one, kiddo.
Then why did we come?
Because if I lose that malpractice suit, even with the insurance, we'll be in hock up to my stethoscope. So Max Abbott's little games have become quite a bit more than that.
We were going to shoot in Marrakesh, but the guy in charge, some two-bit sultan, he's got his hand out. So I says to my unit manager, pay the $2. And he says to me, he doesn't want money, he wants Sandra D. Well, the guy's crazy. No way I could give him Sandra D even if I wanted to. But no Sandra D, no picture. Seems this guy's got all her old pictures in his palace and he runs them over and over again.
Harry, would you get me a drink?
Will you pipe down? I haven't finished my story yet.
You can say that again.
Hey, Copper, let me buy you a beer.
No, thanks, Al. Seen Sally? We're all gonna meet later on for a drink, aren't we?
Oh, no. Maggie and I are going to turn in early. Want to be on our toes for tomorrow.
You really want those cars, don't you?
No, that isn't what I really want. The truth is, it looks like maybe, just maybe, I'll be coaching Big Ten football next month.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, 10 years coaching high school kids. It's been a long time coming. I know Maggie'd love to win that thing tomorrow, but I don't know. All that money, it scares me.
Yeah, well, don't get too scared.
Now, the pace car, probably the rally master, drops one of these sacks of flour at the intersection.
Right, and you can't miss it because it makes quite a mess.
Well, how do you know which direction to turn?
Ah, that's just it. Now, he drops another sack about 200 yards up one of the roads. Now the guessing game starts. You drive to the right. If there's no flour, you try left, or straight ahead until you come across another flour mark.
Mac, the last day sounds terrific. George has just been telling us all about the hare and the hounds.
Oh, those little bags of flour. They're bringing that back again.
Oh, that's for us old-timers. It's quite a thrill, you know.
Hello, Della.
Where's Tom?
Hi. Oh, he's complaining to the rally master.
What about?
Well, when we came out this morning, we found our distributor cap filled with modeling clay.
Well, now, that is strange. When I came out to pack up the car, all 4 of my tires had been slashed. I thought it had been one of the neighborhood kids.
Mac?
They put sugar in our gas tank.
Mac, you know, Tom seems to think it may be Al Potter.
Oh.
Up to some of his old practical jokes again.
No, Del, I don't think so. I mean, I think Al's outgrown that sort of thing.
Excuse me.
It was really terrible, Derek. We're here for a good time,
just
right?
take it
Well, you
easy.
better find out who it is before I do.
Trouble, huh?
Well, it appears we have a practical joker in our midst.
So I hear. You know, a rally for just a trophy is one thing, but a prize worth over a couple of million.
I know. I tried to talk Mr. Abbott out of it, but no, he wouldn't listen.
Well, it's not too late to call it off.
Why, just because somebody's trying to scare off the competition? No, Commissioner, I can't do that. You know the rules. No protests, no time allowances. Press on regardless. Winner take all. Excuse me. Yes?
This is Derek Quigley.
Yes?
There's a bomb planted in the room. It's gonna go off in exactly 4 minutes.
What? Who is this?
Clear out the room, Quigley. You've got less than 4 minutes before the bomb goes off. Now, don't say you weren't warned.
All right, everybody, the party's moving outside by the pool area. Champagne for everybody on the house. Let's go.
Champagne, huh? Well, now that's more like it. Seems the club has acquired a little class in the past 20 years.
What's going on, Mac?
Sally, I'll meet you outside.
Something wrong?
Tom, take Sally outside, will you?
Is something
Now
wrong?
move.
Did you find anything yet?
No, look by the bar. Here it is.
What?
Looks like this rally's gonna be a real stinker, folks.
Where's Al Potter?
You think this was his work?
Who else?
Excuse me?
What are you doing?
With all of these pranks, or whatever you would like to call them, going on, I just want to make sure that nobody planted a stink bomb in our room.
You're really nervous, aren't you? You want to quit?
Of course not. I'm sure it's all just a joke, right?
Well, it might not have been a joke.
You think so?
I just don't know.
I thought you said that this kind of thing used to go on all the time in car rallies.
True. But there was never $2 million at stake.
Well, I can't believe that whoever planted that bomb actually thought that he could scare people off.
More to the point, it gets everybody nervous. They start thinking about their safety and upsets their concentration. In a car rally, that can be a critical edge.
Is it possible that these pranks could be some sort of a cover-up for something more dangerous later on?
Well, that's possible.
Is there anything that you can do about it, Matt?
Well, I'll talk to Derek, but I doubt if it would do any good.
You're the commissioner. Why can't you just call the rally off?
I don't have any jurisdiction here. And even if I could, it'd be a little premature. We're just gonna have to be on the ball and keep an eye on everyone.
If you had to guess right now who was behind it, who would you say?
Well, it would be difficult to guess. I've never been really close to any of them. With the exception of Al Potter, none of them actually need the money.
Who doesn't need $2 million?
That's interesting.
What?
The question, who doesn't need $2 million? Because if you turn it around, the question becomes, who does need $2 million?
Well, that's easy. Everybody.
No. Everybody wants $2 million. There's a great deal of difference between wanting it and needing it. Why don't you nose around a little bit? Talk to the wives, see what you can find out. If we can find somebody who actually needs the money, we might find our culprit.
Good night.
Mileage 00?
0 mileage. Left out of parking lot at 7 o'clock, plus car number and minutes. Now take 30 minutes to reach instruction 19.
Okay, all set to go.
The gremlins don't give us any more trouble, Dirk.
Oh, I think all that business is out of the way.
I sure
If you
hope
want a time check, we're coming up on 30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay.
Isn't Harry Jerome a little old for his wife?
Isn't that what your mother keeps saying about me?
Mark.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
All set? Right.
Got the instructions, Sally?
Right here. Whoops, 2. Where's page 1?
What's the first instruction?
I don't know. Hang on a second.
I think you better check your timepiece. It looks to be 6 seconds slow.
What?
Somebody's mixed up all my pages.
I thought you checked his watch.
I did last night.
What's the next instruction?
Oh, right here. No, 6. 7. Wait a minute. Hang on there.
You better zero your mileage counter.
Oh, yeah. Let me see that watch.
Out in 5 seconds.
Well, I got it. Page 1. Left out of the parking lot onto State Route 321.
You're off. What'd you say, man?
Right.
Don't say right when you mean left.
I didn't say right, I said left.
Say correct.
Mac, how can I say correct when you were going the wrong way?
How am I doing?
Well, I think you're a little fast.
How fast?
Maybe 5 seconds. Have you seen that wishing well yet?
Nope. I wonder who it was.
Who what was?
Whoever was on the phone last night.
Mac, you're supposed to be looking for a wishing well.
Oh, that was it.
What?
The wishing well. Which way?
I didn't see it.
Nevertheless. Which way?
Bear right after the wishing well.
Right.
Just like this.
Next.
Right after a sign that reads swimming club.
You see it?
No, Mac, it's all happening too fast.
You're doing just great. Keep your eyes peeled.
one, right?
Right. Hey, the folks did just fine here. Only 3 points.
3?
That's right. Looks like he didn't fall for that billboard back to the last turn.
Billboard?
Sure. The one that said swim club, not swimming club. That fooled a lot of them. You two are pretty sharp.
That's us. Sharp. We got a 3. Re-zero your counters. Come on. This is gonna be fun. Ready? Go.
Construction to the right. Continue straight ahead.
Got it.
You sure about the speed?
41 miles per hour.
That seems pretty fast for a road like this.
Maybe it opens up down here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're down about 20 seconds.
So after I married Harry, he wouldn't let me do any more movies. So that's why I'm divorcing him.
I thought I read that somewhere.
I mean, this man works 18 hours a day, so fine. But I need a life of my own, too. Do you know what I mean?
If you filed suit for a divorce, why did you come out on this
Oh,
rally
come on,
with
look,
him?
I know Harry, and he's going to try to soft-soap me out of a divorce. But he bought this car especially for the rally. So I figure after it's over, I get to keep the car, right?
Oh.
It's a nice car, don't you think?
Very.
What do you think takes him so long to get gas?
I don't know.
Max, what is going on around here?
What's the matter, George?
Construction 54, they moved the sign on me.
Well, it was okay for us.
Yes, that's just the point. After we went up the road, they moved the sign back.
Oh, come on, George.
I know what I'm talking about, Al, and damn it, we could have been killed. Where were you 20 minutes ago?
Now, George, just a minute.
I'll tell you where we were 20 minutes ago. We were down the road running this rally the way it's supposed to be run. 49 points for 7 checkpoints. I'll tell you something, pal. You don't get that kind of score changing signs down the road. So whatever you're thinking, you can forget it.
Oh, Louise, that's awful. Mac and I aren't doing very well, but we haven't had anything like that happen.
I'll tell you, George is not imagining those things. That sign was moved.
Who was the last one to get here?
We did a couple of minutes ago.
How'd you miss them, George?
Miss what?
Spikes and nails all across the road up there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're down, huh? It's a damn good thing I know how to drive, or I'd be halfway down that cliff by now. I'm getting tired of this, Mac. Somebody around here must want those cars pretty bad. Maybe it's our practical joker friend here, Mr. Potter.
Hey, if you can't handle it, why don't you pull out of the rally?
I didn't say anything about quitting, but I promise you this. If I find the clown who's pulling these stunts, he's going to be one sorry guy. I don't care how big he is.
Of course I know what's going on, and I'd love nothing better than to catch whoever's behind
Someone
it.
might get killed if you don't call off this rally.
Mac, there are only 5 people competing for Max's collection, but none of the other people have had any problems at all. Now, if one of you 5 wants to quit, that's fine. But I don't think it's fair to penalize the entire rally.
Anyway, Mac, you heard them this afternoon. They're all angry, but they're not scared. I, on the other hand, I'm not angry, but I am scared.
I'll talk to them, Mac. But if they won't listen to you, they're sure not going to listen to me.
I think the whole problem is it's an ego thing. Nobody wants to be the first one to quit. Why don't we withdraw? Maybe the other ones will, too.
There's too much money at stake. And if they're going to go on, we better go on, too. At least we can stop it from getting worse, maybe.
How? You can't be everywhere at once. Besides, any one of the 5 of them could be behind the accidents.
Any of the 4.
5. George Nolan, Al Potter, Tom Wheatley, Harry Jerome, and you. You're right, 4.
Anyway, I've got a call in to Enright.
And I want a shower for dinner.
Is that all? Ha! I want a steak.
Ooh, was that a good dinner, but am I stumped?
I think we ought to turn in. We have a big day tomorrow.
Would it disturb you a lot if I were to stay up and watch a movie on TV? I can't sleep on a full stomach.
Lie on your back. Sally, where are the towels?
Oh, they're in the suitcase.
What are they doing in the suitcase?
Well, we needed some at home, so I just thought I'd...
Sally, you're a police commissioner's wife.
Oh, don't be such a cop. Everybody pinches a towel now and then. Besides, it's not really stealing.
Sally. Hello? Yes, this is E. What? I see. All right, thank you. Sally? Where's your wallet?
In the wastebasket under some tissues.
Oh, what's it doing in the wastebasket?
Well, that's where I always put it. That way, if anybody breaks in, they won't steal it. Thanks for reminding me. It's gone. My wallet is gone. My credit cards and all my money and my cash and everything.
They have it downstairs at the desk.
Aha! Did they find who stole it?
The maid came in, turned down the bed, emptied the wastebasket. The desk clerk said he'd hold it for ransom until you returned the towels.
Well, would you be a dear and go down and get it for me?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have to put up the top anyway. And I want to check the stopwatches.
Mac? What are you trying for, a New World's record?
Well, I just want to get it set for tomorrow morning's panic.
Oh.
Unless you want to make it a challenge.
You're the one that wanted to go to bed early.
You know I can never sleep on a full stomach.
Did he get away, Mac?
Did who get away?
Oh, man, I followed you from your room. Did you see who it was?
No. Nice, isn't it? What was meant to be a rally turned out to be a demolition derby. Plastic explosives. Is it your husband, Maggie?
I don't know.
I've known Al a long time. Well, at least long enough to know that he was an explosives expert in the Army.
I'm so scared for him, Mac. He wants to win so badly.
Why? Why would he take the risk of getting caught? Just when he's on the verge of the biggest break of his life.
The Big Ten coaching job.
Yeah, he told me about it the other night.
It is just not so. There is a boy on Al's team, Mark Shea. Now, Al's kind of been bringing him along, and the kid is just terrific. 20 colleges must be after him. But Al has got himself believing that Mark won't go anyplace unless Al goes with him. Mac, he is a high school football coach, and that is all he will ever be.
What's wrong with that?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, nothing. I've told him I love him, whatever. But I'm terrified he's going to do something desperate to prove himself in front of all of you.
Peggy? What's going on?
Oh, Mac and I were just talking.
Talking about what?
Take a look, Al. Somebody left me a nice little present.
Meaning me, right, Mac? Look, I know what everyone's thinking. 5 of us competing for Mac Abbott's museum. Big-time lawyer, famous heart surgeon, Hollywood motion picture producer, you, and then there's me. Al Potter, high school football coach.
Nobody's accusing
Well, you don't have to. Sure, I'd like to win those cars tomorrow. Who wouldn't? But like I told you, that's not what I really want. I get a chance to be a big-time football coach.
Oh, Al, please.
Besides, if I was going to sabotage someone's car, it sure wouldn't be yours. Out of the 5 of us, you and Sally are dead last.
I don't mind last, but I do mind dead.
Well, I didn't do it, Mac. You gotta believe that.
There's no life for us out there. We have no tomorrows, only yesterdays. Bittersweet yesterdays.
I'll go to Charles. I'll tell him.
Tell him what? That Billy's not really his son? That I'm not really your brother? That you're not really the daughter of Oliver Thornbrook?
Hi, Mac. I'm watching the best movie. It's terrible.
Yes, operator, this is Mr. McMillan. Would you replace that call to San Francisco, please? Sally, turn that off. And if Mr. Enright isn't there, would you try his home again, please? Thank you.
What is it, Mac?
You're better off not knowing.
That bad?
Don't ask.
Don't tell me. Tell me.
Somebody did a little maintenance work on our engine. It's plastic explosive.
Why did you tell me? Do you mean that someone's trying to kill us?
I don't think so. Not enough explosive for that. Just enough to blow up the engine and keep us out of the rally. Hello? Yes, thank you.
Charlie? Commissioner?
I've been trying to get a hold of you for a couple of hours. You don't sound very awake.
I just got off. 22 hours straight.
With Sue? She seems like such a delicate girl.
22 hours straight duty, sir.
Oh. Well, you're back on. I want you to come down to the Seven Palms Inn in Monteverde. Identify yourself with the manager and then be ready for when the rally cars come in tomorrow afternoon.
Ready for what, sir?
Well, I'm not sure, but I want you undercover. This rally's gotten out of hand. There's been a few accidents, so I want you to hang around, keep your eyes and ears open, and see what you can find out. And don't let anybody know you're a cop.
Right, sir. Hello, Sue. Charles here. I know it's late, but I wouldn't call you unless it was very, very important. Listen, Sue, I have to break our date tomorrow night. No, it can't be helped. You see, the Mac wants me to join him on the rally immediately. Well, I can't tell you exactly what it's about, but I can tell you that it's undercover. Well, I know, my dearest. I feel exactly the same way. Well, I told you the life wasn't easy. You know, it's like being a doctor. You're on call 24 hours a day. Yeah. Well, the only difference is that we make house calls. No, I don't know how long it's going to be or how long I'll be gone, but, well, I'll be thinking about you the entire time. Well, sure, I'll call you from up there. You what? You promise? Yeah, well, I'll give you a call the moment I get back. Sue, you know, I haven't said this to very many women in my life, but you satisfy something very deep inside me. Yeah. Me too. Bye.
Are you sure you don't want me to keep time?
No, let's just stay on course and watch. What instruction are we working on?
We're working on right at a yellow bell. Isn't that the Wheatleys up there?
And right on time, I'd say. What's the speed? 31 miles an hour.
Right. I mean, correct.
Ha ha ha. Isn't the next instruction right at the yellow bell?
Uh-huh. I guess the Wheatleys didn't see it.
They'd have to be blind to miss that sign.
Everybody can make mistakes.
Not Tom Wheatley. Not that kind of mistake.
Be careful, Tom.
What is it we're looking for again? Left at a schoolhouse?
I didn't see it.
You all right, kiddo? Huh?
I think so.
What happened?
Just our luck. In first place by 300 points, and now this.
Luck had nothing to do with it.
Well, I should have known there was no schoolhouse down this cow path.
Schoolhouse?
Anybody hurt?
Nah, we're all right. We're all right.
Did you see who it was, Mac?
No, just the back of their helmets.
Well, take a look at this. This is the Wheatley's instruction sheet. Something's missing.
They're right at the yellow bell. Somebody's been doctoring these instructions.
Do you think that somebody could have paid those motorcyclists to sabotage the rally?
Could be.
Mac, I was talking to Della Wheatley, and she told me to promise not to breathe a word of this. But it seems that she and Tom are in serious financial trouble.
You just did.
What?
Breathed a word of it.
Oh, just to you.
Well.
Anyway, about 3 weeks ago, Tom was operating on this man. Tom had been up for about 40 hours straight, and he was dropping a lot of pills to stay awake. Della says he's been doing a lot of that lately.
He lost him?
The man would have died anyway. Everybody knew that. It's just in this case, the patient's brother went wild.
Lawsuit?
Millions. Even with the insurance, if Tom loses, it could wipe them out.
Which gives him extra incentive to win the rally.
That's what I thought.
Except for one thing. Why would the front runner sabotage his own car?
They're in luck. We'll get him out easily. It's nothing too serious.
Look, Derek, this rally's gone far enough.
Commissioner, we've been
the
through all
Wheatleys
this.
could have been killed.
My hands are tied. I've spoken to all of them separately. None of them will quit. And after all, it's their choice.
All right. Let's have a committee car follow each one of the 5 cars tomorrow.
I think we can handle that.
Maybe about a quarter of a mile back, just in case.
Right.
And let's keep the 5 cars separated tonight. Put a watch on them. I may know someone who can help us out.
All right.
Let me get the window for you, sir.
I think everybody heard you, Sergeant. Your disguise is magnificent.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. Mrs. McMillan?
Sergeant, you look awful tired.
Yeah, well, I am a little bit. Do you mind if I sit down, sir?
No, go ahead.
I mean, I've been toting bags ever since 2 o'clock, and frankly, I have had it. I only made about $4. It's a pretty tough way to make a living.
Were you able to find anything out?
Not much. Oh, there's an awful lot of griping going on. You know, the sort of thing that you told me about on the telephone.
There are a couple of guys on motorcycles who set up an accident this morning, but by the time I saw them, Enright.
Sir?
Why don't you get some sleep? I'm going to need you tonight to watch the parking
sir,
lot.
I'm fine, sir.
Sergeant, how about a cup of coffee?
No, thanks, Mrs. McMillan. I mean, if I could just lie down for a couple of minutes, I'll be fine by this evening.
You don't have a room, do you? Well, why don't you take this bed? Give us 10 minutes to freshen up and get out of here, and then sleep here.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll wait for you downstairs. Oh. Don't worry about this evening, sir. I mean, I'll be fine after a couple hours sleep. I'll watch the parking lot like a hawk.
Coming. Enright? Morning, Hawk. Anything stirring?
No, not even a mouse. Good morning, Mrs. McMillan.
Hello, Sergeant.
Sir, no one's come near those cars all night. Except for Mr. Quigley, the rally master. He just wanted to check how I was doing.
All right. Drive down to Barclays Inn in Casa Marina. But first get some rest.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, Sergeant. Well, we're off.
Mm-hmm.
They're the Nolans. Hi.
Morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Sally.
Morning, Mac. Sally. Well, cars are still here. It's a good sign now, isn't it?
George, I wish I could convince you all to stay off the road today.
Don't you think you're making too much out of these little incidents?
They're not incidents. Somebody might get seriously hurt, even killed.
All right, Mac, let's put it on the table, shall we? Because of one little disaster the first day and on the Wheatley's accident yesterday, Harry and Gwyneth are in first place by several hundred points. I do not expect them to remain there. Harry doesn't rally well enough for that.
The cars can't mean that much to you.
On the contrary, Sally, they mean everything to me. I've been subpoenaed to testify against a senior partner in my law firm. I become what is known as a pariah in legal circles. The fact remains that I haven't had a case in 6 months. My savings are gone. I'm in imminent danger of losing everything. But if I can win this race...
Is it worth risking your life?
Mac, I can handle myself. I have every intention of finishing this race and winning it. And nobody is going to stop me. Well, now, if you will excuse us, I believe we're due up on the line.
Bye, Mac.
Bye, Louise.
Sure. It's nice and quiet. Any trouble? Well, there's always a few that get lost, but if you mean any more trouble, we haven't heard of any.
Hi.
32 minutes and 19 seconds.
How's it going? Well, we haven't been run off the road yet.
Better than that. 11 points through 6 checkpoints. How's that?
And a 0 on this one.
Well, we'll be way out in front by the end of the day. Harry and the others don't have a prayer. You know what your trouble is, Mac? You think cop 24 hours a day. You're expecting trouble around every little corner.
Car, coming fast.
Mac, I'll call an ambulance.
Can't get her out!
Well, had to happen, I guess. All these fool people racing around the county. She's a pretty young thing.
My fault, Mac. All my fault. If I hadn't been trying to make up time, I could have handled it.
You said you had no brakes.
They just went. I hit the pedal and nothing.
Who was following you in the committee car?
I was. Just like he says. He was picking up speed going down that downgrade. I could hardly keep up with him.
I still think if I hadn't been trying to make up time and going a little slow, I could have handled that curve.
Was the car ever out of your sight?
No. Well, except when we stopped for lunch back at that hamburger stand in Centinela.
And you didn't watch the car?
Well, there was so many people there, I didn't think.
Harry, I'm very sorry.
Are you, George?
I don't understand it, Sally. We had these cars under surveillance last night, today, now this.
Well, they wouldn't listen to you, Mac. You did everything you could to try and stop them.
Yeah.
Sheriff, these people are staying overnight down there at Barclays.
Barclays, huh? All right, get on over there and tell whoever's in charge I'll be coming down and putting a stop to
Sheriff,
these shenanigans.
don't you think you ought to take a look at that car before they tow it away?
Well, them little cars all look alike to me. Good looking thing, but I wouldn't be caught driving one myself.
I thought you might want to look at the brake line. Sally, why don't you go on in and keep your ears open? You might pick up something.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to stick with the sheriff.
Do you think you can handle this, man?
Oh, he's a lot smarter than he lets on.
Hey, Sheriff. I think we got that fellow that's been causing all the accidents.
Where is he?
He's in the manager's office. I guess spotted him.
Enright.
Commissioner, am I glad to see you?
You two know each other? Well, what does he mean, Commissioner?
Sheriff, may I present Stuart McMillan, Commissioner of the San Francisco Police? I work for him.
Oh, that McMillan. Now, why didn't you say so?
Well, I don't have any jurisdiction here, Sheriff, so I...
Well, that's true, but Corvallis County is always happy to cooperate with law enforcement people, whatever the circumstances.
Someone want me?
You in charge here, son?
Yes, I'm Derek Quigley. I'm the rally master.
Well, you're not mastering anything for a while. This rally stops right here and now until me and my deputy can find out what's going on.
Just a minute, Sheriff.
You? Just a minute, son. Now, I'm confining everyone to this motel until we have a chance to question everybody. Now, we're friendly folks here at Corvallis, but we know our job. Big city or small town, it's all the same, huh, Commissioner?
Charlie, tell me something.
About what, sir?
How in the world did you manage to get yourself arrested?
I don't know. It was a humiliating experience, I can tell you. I was just catching a few Z's.
What?
Z's, sir. Sleep.
Oh.
Shut-eye. Anyway, I was in the lobby, and all of a sudden this deputy wakes me up and asks for my identification. Well, naturally, I wasn't carrying any, being undercover and all. And the next thing I know, he's got the cuffs on me, and he tells me that I look about as much like a bellhop as his mother-in-law.
You should have told him to call me.
Well, I didn't want to blow my cover, sir.
I think he was wrong.
About what?
Well, except for the circles under your eyes, you look very much like a bellhop.
Thank you, sir.
Come on in.
Hi, Mr. McMillan. You know, Commissioner, everybody had lunch at that hamburger spot. The Potters, the Nolans, and the Wheatleys. So any one of them could have gotten to that Datsun. But if you ask my opinion, there were just too many people around.
You know, I just can't believe that any of them would be capable of murder.
$2 million is a lot of motive, sir.
Yes, but for whom? Sally, what's up?
Al Potter, for one. Of them all, he makes the least amount of money. And that bomb that was planted in your car?
No. They're all broke, with the exception of Harry Jerome.
Mac, it says here in this magazine
Just a minute, Sally. For instance, George Nolan is broke.
Well, you'd never know it from the car he drives.
All the more reason why he's desperate to win.
And Tom Wheatley?
Fellas,
Yeah, well, he's your
guys,
type.
hey.
Hey, maybe it's none of them, sir.
What?
Well, none of the men, that is. But have you ever considered that it could be one of the wives?
Mac?
That's interesting.
Mac?
Frankly, I hadn't.
Mac?
I'm sorry, Sally. What is it?
Mac, I've been reading here in this magazine. They've got pictures and everything.
Shh.
What is it, sir?
Let's go, Charlie. Sally, call the sheriff. Have him seal off the whole motel area. Keep everybody out.
Sir, you've got the hearing of a cat.
Operator, this is Mrs. McMillan. Can you get me Sheriff Faraday? It's an emergency.
Hold it. Split. And right, over here. All right, that's far enough.
All right. I just want to get out of here, mister, that's all. I don't want to have to hurt you.
Ow! Oh, pardon me, miss.
Come on now. I just want to get out of here.
All right, you're a tough guy. Just quit trying to break my arm.
Joe Smith, huh? I guess you must be Jane Doe.
Here's his ID, Sheriff. His name is Joseph Smith.
That's so, huh? What's your name, young lady?
Golden Meyer.
That's not going to help.
It's Bessie Long.
Listen, Sheriff, you want to toss us in your jail for a few days, go ahead. Me and Bessie been busted before. Ain't nothing new.
Few days, huh? First-degree murder is worth a lot more than a few days.
Murder?
Mm-hmm. Girl was killed on a rally this morning. Looks like somebody cut the brake line on a car.
Well, don't look at us. We don't know nothing about that.
You've been causing a lot of trouble.
Oh, joke, sure. We're cutting a brake line? Not us, brother.
Why don't you tell us about it, son?
Nothing to tell. Some guy paid us $500 to run around changing the signs and covering up the clues so there'd be trouble in the rally for some of the cars.
Who was the guy?
Some guy, that's all. I never saw him. He gave me a call about a week ago. Mailed me $250. And he said the rest would follow after the rally was over.
How did the money come? Cash?
Yeah, he never gave me his name and I never asked. Listen, mister, for $500, I don't mind playing some stunts. But I never cut nobody's brake line.
Sheriff? I just got a call from the hospital. That woman's husband's down there trying to claim the body. Now, doctor won't let the body go, Sheriff. And this fella, Jerome, he's raising all sorts of hell.
All right, I'll talk to her. Culpepper, take these two down to my office and hold them till morning for Judge Tuttle.
Sheriff, would you mind if Sergeant Enright and I went down with you?
I was hoping you'd ask.
Mac, am I glad to see you. Can you talk some sense into these people?
Easy, Harry.
We'd like to oblige you, Mr. Jerome.
You can oblige me by letting me take my wife back to Los Angeles for a proper burial. Mac, they're talking about an autopsy.
That's the law, Mr. Jerome. Anytime we get involved in a violent death.
You took out life insurance on Gwyneth, didn't you, Harry?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Gwyneth insisted on it for both of us. Well, what's that got to do?
Well, you wouldn't want any trouble with the insurance company, now would you?
Well, frankly, I hadn't thought about it. I just wanted to get out of here. But I suppose you're right. Call it off, Mac, before somebody else gets hurt. It's not worth it.
I think it already has been called off, courtesy of the Caballos County Sheriff's Office.
Well, I don't know how they're going to resolve it. About Max's collection, I mean. But for the record, count me out. Let the others fight over it.
Mr. Jerome, would you come with me just for a minute, please?
That was quick thinking about an insurance policy, sir. Most men don't insure their wives.
It's just an educated guess, Charlie. Before Harry Jerome became a producer, he made his first million in the insurance business. Well, he even told me he insured all his wives.
Come on in. Hi, Mac. Hi, Sergeant. How did you do? How'd it go?
Well, we caught the cyclists, and they denied having anything to do with Gwyneth's death. What are you reading?
This? Movie Town Confidential, of course.
Well, it gladdens my heart to know that you're forever trying to improve your mind.
Don't be such a snob. There's a wealth of information for the discerning reader.
Like what, for example?
For example, the last time I was at the beauty parlor, I skimmed it and something stuck in my mind. So I went downstairs to the Motel Beauty Parlor, which is right off the lobby, and guess what? They had the very same magazine. Do you know that every beauty parlor that I have ever been in carries the same magazines?
Doesn't say very much for the habitués of beauty parlors, does it?
Well, it doesn't. Listen to this. Well, Gwyneth O'Gara fans, it's official. After 3 years of on-again, off-again marital bliss with thrice-divorced producer Harry Jerome, Gwyneth will officially become Jerome's fourth ex-wife sometime next July. Welcome back, Gwen. We've missed you.
We knew they were getting a divorce.
Will you wait a minute? I'm coming to the best part. Now I lost my place. Incidentally, Gwen's not quite the dumb bunny she's made to play on the screen. And the proof is in the property settlement, which she engineered before saying I do. Up again, down again, Jerome may find his precarious financial empire, crumbling at his feet if Gwen holds him to the letter of his agreement.
Mrs. McMillan, Harry Jerome's got so much money, he doesn't know how to spend it all. Haven't you read about those parties on his yacht?
That's just the point, Sergeant. No matter how much he has, the way he spends it, there's got to be a bottom to that well someplace.
You think that he hired those two kids?
Well, if he really was broke. He has to make sure that he wins Max Abbott's collection.
Well, why would he sabotage his own car? I mean, he was ahead. He stood to win $2 million.
You're too logical, Sergeant.
Charlie, do you remember that case where the rich old lady's doctor caught the butler trying to steal $1 million necklace?
Yes, sir. I think so. He shot and killed the butler trying to escape, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Look, I want you to go down to L.A. now.
I might fall asleep at the wheel, sir.
Well, take a bus. This bus is running all night long. I want you to check on a company. Net worth, cash on hand, assets.
Maybe you can get some sleep on that bus, Sergeant.
I'll drive you down to the terminal.
I'll pack my bags and meet you in the lobby.
Fine.
What is it, Mac?
Something bothers me.
What?
You know that case I was talking about? The case about the jewels?
The murdered butler?
Mm-hmm. Well, it turned out that the butler didn't want the jewels after all. The doctor just made it look that way so that he could kill the butler and then use the jewel robbery as a diversion.
Are you saying that these accidents could be just a diversion? That the real intent was to murder Gwyneth all along?
Well, maybe. If Harry faced a huge community property settlement, now he not only saves all that money, but he gets a nice, fat, possibly double indemnity insurance payoff as well.
Even if you could prove that those kids cut Harry's brake line, how could you prove that Harry hired them to do it?
I'm guessing. I just don't think those two kids did it.
Who did it?
I'll let you know in the morning.
Nothing like an early morning swim.
Yeah, I've been there.
Exactly where did that car go off the road yesterday?
Right about there.
Commissioner, I don't mind helping out, but I'd kind of like to know what's going on.
I'm trying to prove that an accident was really a premeditated murder. You know the brake line on Harry Jerome's car was cut.
Yeah, we sure have had a lot of accidents.
But it was cut completely through. Now, if it were cut completely through, he wouldn't have been able to control the car on the road at all.
Yes, but then how...
I think it was cut after the car hit the water, and I think there's something on the lake bottom to prove it, like a knife or something.
But the only ones out there were you and Mr. Nolan.
And Harry. He kept diving to save Gwyneth. I don't believe that. He was diving down to cut the line. Anyway, I'm going to find out. I think it's about here.
I think so.
Call the sheriff. Right, get an APB out on that truck. What about you?
I'm fine. What do you think? Can I wear it to the party tonight?
Oh, sure. Have a little bit too much makeup on, that's all. Home at last.
It's good to be back. You know, I'm going to cherish this trophy for as long as I live. I never had a trophy like this before.
Is it possible that these suitcases are heavier than when we left?
How much heavier could they be? Washcloths and towels don't weigh very much.
You're a kleptomaniac.
You know what I love? I love those little soft things that you wear over your hand and polish your shoes with. I got a lot of those. I got about 10. It's locked.
Don't you have a key?
Oh. I don't know. I have a sneaking suspicion that I left my key in the house.
Well, here, it's on my right front pocket.
Okay. Where are your keys?
In the ignition.
Cross your fingers. Well, neither of those work.
I don't understand. It's always open.
Well, Mildred always locks it when she takes a shower.
Well, then knock on the door.
Well, she's not going to hear you if she's got the water running.
Then you walk around to the front door, let yourself in, walk through the house, and open that door.
Good idea.
And if Mildred is in the shower, let her know we're here. She has a habit of walking around naked when we're not there.
How would you know that?
Well, I walked in on her once.
What happened? What happened?
Well, she screamed and wrapped herself in paper towels.
Poor Mildred.
Really have to dust this thing?
Only once a day, Mildred.
Couldn't we put it someplace where nobody can see it? My bowling league gives away better looking hardware than this.
That was Derek. Just had a meeting with George, Al, and Tom. They decided to keep the collection intact and donate it to the city.
That's terrific, Mac.
Mildred, be careful of that trophy. We worked very hard to get that.
Yeah, and it costs a lot of money, too. What with car repairs, food bills, gas, hotel.
It's not the money, Mildred.
20th Annual Golden State Rally. DLBF, what does that mean?
Look at it this way, Mildred. Harry Jerome's in jail, and he's confessed to killing Gwyneth.
That's pretty stupid for a guy with all his money.
Well, he didn't really have all that much money.
Do you know that if Gwyneth had gone ahead with that divorce, that Harry would have had to open up his books?
Harry Jerome is a thief of monumental proportions. For 3 years now, he's been picking the richest pockets in Hollywood. Swindled everybody. We still would be today if it weren't for Gwyneth. That's why he had to get rid of her.
You know, he didn't even care about the antique cars. He just knew the rally would be a good cover to kill Gwyneth and make it look like someone else was responsible. That's why he hired those kids to change the signs, to divert the suspicion from himself.
Okay, terrific. I still want to know, what does DLBF mean?
Dead last, but finished.
Dead last but finished. I thought you said they canceled the rally.
They did.
But they gave you dead last but finished, even though you didn't finish.
Well, it makes sense to me. You?
Oh, me too.
Now, I know all those rally people are crazy.
Congratulations.
You did pretty good. You loved it. You're not gonna believe this.
Oh, yes. Ilya thinks you're ready for the pro tour.
Not yet, but he has told me he's gonna take me under his wing and give me weekly lessons whenever he's in town.
That kid's gonna be born with a tennis elbow if you're not careful.
That's a wives' tale. Besides, I talked to the doctor. Plenty of exercise through the 8th month.
See, your star's temper's exploded one too many times. I think he needs a rest. Maybe you should visit his homeland.
His temper sells tickets. That's what pros are all about.
Well, the vote was unanimous.
When did the Rules Committee reach this vote?
This morning.
Well, I don't understand it. Your father invites him here, and at the same time, gets him suspended.
My father didn't acquire this 1,000-acre paradise by being predictable. Besides, he's only one member of the committee. He doesn't own it.
He owns it, all right. Look, Ilya Ostrov is my livelihood. If he doesn't play, I don't eat.
Well, maybe you should look around for another pro, someone who knows the rules of the game.
I have been hacking away at pro tennis for 15 years, and now it's finally a big money game, and I've got a big money player. So your father wants to dump me out in the street? I tell you, I don't like it.
Mr. Hoffenstein, my father holds his possessions very dearly. That includes his newspaper, this 1,000-acre estate and everything on it. The wild game preserve, his prize cattle, but most of all, his beautiful wife.
I'm going to talk to the old man myself.
Well, however you handle it, don't keep your tennis player in the dark much longer, or he'll read it on the sports page. Sally.
Hi,
Hi.
Walter.
3 years is too long a time, but you're still as beautiful as ever.
You guys haven't met. This is my husband, Mac. This is Ewing's son, Walter.
How do you do?
Commissioner, your wife is one of the fabulous spirits of our time.
That's what she keeps telling me.
Congratulations are in order. We're talking to the new president of the Webley Corporation.
Well, thank you. I wanted to call, but you know how hectic it can be starting at the top.
Walter, have you seen your father?
I think he went to check out the lions.
The lions?
Yeah, it's his latest acquisition. He brought them in from Africa, but I think he's going to donate them to the zoo. They're frightening the workers.
Had to mention at least one of the guests.
2.
One, I was talking about you.
Walter, dear, would you please mingle a little? I can't do it all myself.
Are you two staying for dinner?
You couldn't drag us away. Your father's meals are legend.
I'll see you both later. Commissioner, I have to go mingle.
Wasn't Walter one of your amorous prospects in one of your previous lives?
4 very heavy dates. Then, darling, you came along, and you swept me off my feet. And all the other boys just sort of faded into Never Never Land.
And Walter, heartbroken, poor thing, exiled himself to Southern California, where he sold insurance for Daddy's corporation.
Well, he couldn't exactly live at home with Mother. Do you think it's true what they say about Ilya and Rachel?
Senor.
How is the beef aging?
Beautifully. Now that you have installed a new freezing unit, we no longer have to process the private stock commercially.
Ronaldo, I've just been checking on the lions. They seemed hungry.
They are hungry.
We'll have Silverio feed them.
Silverio's gone for 3 days now.
Gone? Where?
Maybe he went back to Caracas. Or maybe he's just taking advantage of the long employment with you. But he has disappeared. And no one else is going to feed those panthers.
They're lions, Ronaldo.
They scare the herd.
I know. That's why we moved them near the house.
They also scare the workers, senor.
They're caged, aren't they? The men will just have to live with it.
With Silverio gone, who's going to feed them?
All right, Ronaldo, I'll feed them. It's going to be 37 for dinner tonight. Serve the best Argentine.
You must have the top dogs out today, senor.
The upper crust of the upper crust, Ronaldo.
When
you see him, say hello from me.
Mr. Webley, excuse me. Could I have a word with you, please?
I've got a court reserved tomorrow if you'd like to play.
Well, I'd love to, Sally, but I don't think I'm really in shape for singles.
You seen the shape she's in?
We're playing doubles. Besides, I think I can get you a really good partner.
Well, she's just as tenacious as ever, Commissioner.
Some might even say pushy.
What do you say, Walter?
Well, what time?
12 noon at the tennis club in town.
I'll be there.
Great.
Who have you got in mind for a partner?
You.
Some of us have to work for a living.
Yes, but everyone has to take time off lunch.
To eat lunch.
I'll bring you a peanut butter and honey sandwich from the house. You can't say no because I've already set Elia as the fourth. Besides, I think that playing with a pro might improve your game.
You know, you are pushy.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Commissioner.
All right, Spot. Let's go pay our respects to the host.
You've had your official notice, Mr. Hoffenstein. I don't wish to discuss the matter further. Now, Sally.
Hello, Ewing.
Commissioner.
Nice party.
Thank you. You know, there was a time, Commissioner, when I thought that your lovely wife was going to be my daughter-in-law.
I think Walter needs a much younger woman, Ewing.
Don't we all?
How goes the fight against crime, Commissioner?
Oh, it has its ups and downs, Ewing.
Well, you know you can depend on my media to support you. Or do I read a complaint in there someplace, Stuart?
Well, your blood and gore headlines, Ewing.
They're a little tacky, Ewing.
Yeah.
Well, these are tacky times, Sally. But I'll see that they're muted, at least until the circulation goes down and my stockholders complain.
Ewing just loves people. We do this every weekend.
Would you excuse me a minute?
Elia, where are you going?
I'll be back in a moment. Enjoying yourself, Ted? What time does the plane leave tomorrow night for Tucson?
9:30. But there's no need for you to be on it now, is there?
What are you talking about?
I don't think it makes any difference at all. Tomorrow's a whole new ballgame.
Dinner is ready, sir.
I'll have my wife join me at the table.
Yes, sir.
Webley! What is this? Some kind of police state you run here?
You miserable lowlife. You are nothing but an ill-bred fascist!
That outburst just nails your coffin shut, my friend. Please escort Mr. Astroff to his car.
If I heard the last of me, Webley, I'll sue you for everything you own. You can't get away with this. Dinner is served. I come to this country because here there is a sense of justice. Ha! That old man is a Nazi.
You play around with his wife and he's a Nazi? You're not making any sense.
I never touched Rachel.
Then you're even more stupid than I thought.
I do not want to talk to anyone.
Yes? Hoffenstein, this is Ewing Webley. Is your client with you?
Just a moment, sir. It's Webley. He wants to talk.
Hang it up on him.
You want to play tennis for a living, or don't you?
This is Elia Astrov.
If you can hold on to that temper of yours, maybe we can work things out.
I will try, Mr. Webley.
That's the beginning. Drive over to the main house. I'll be in the library. The butler will show you in.
He wants me to drive out there.
Well, that's good. You'll go.
He better not be playing any more games with me.
Ilya, that old man has been outplaying guys like you all his life. Now, you will go out there and you will tell him that your relationship, or whatever you call it, with his wife is over. You will do it as nicely as you can, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get lucky. Now, go on, get dressed.
I think I'll reread Gone with the Wind.
Well, that was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
What, my backhand?
No, you know. Ewing and Ilya.
You better not make any mistakes with your instructor. He'll come after you with a racket.
Don't bend your elbow on the follow-through.
Thank you,
I
Mildred.
didn't know you played tennis, Mildred.
Oh, well, I had to give it up. I couldn't see over the net.
Where are you going?
To bed.
In your coat?
I just came in.
Were you out?
Yes, with Sarah Jukes.
Oh, who is Sarah Jukes?
Sarah Jukes is in charge of the entire staff of Walter Webley's new townhouse.
Oh, townhouse. I like that word.
That's 2 words.
Well, she likes both of them. Commissioner, did you know that Sarah Jukes is the highest paid housekeeper in the Bay Area?
On the other hand, I'll give you better straight lines.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Say goodnight, Mildred.
Good night, Mildred.
See?
Come on, Mac. Hurry up and change your clothes. We only have the courts for an hour.
Commissioner?
What's the matter, Mac?
Walter, I have some bad news for you, I'm afraid. Huh? It's about your father. He's dead.
How?
I don't know. Would you like to go out to the ranch with me?
I'd like to go too, Mac.
Fine. Where's he live?
I don't know. He's late.
I'll see you in the house, Sally.
Commissioner?
Sergeant Enright, this is Walter Webley.
Mr. Webley?
Sergeant.
Cause of death established yet?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Commissioner, the cause of death was the result of being eaten by lions. I wish there was a better way to say that.
Well, how can you be sure it was my father?
Well, we found a shoe, some personal belongings, and a few pieces of cloth, which the butler said were the clothes that your father wore last night.
It was an accident, wasn't it, Sergeant?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Well, do you know who did it?
No, sir.
Well, Commissioner, I suppose you'll give this your own special attention?
I intend to, Walter.
If you'll excuse me,
Walter, I wouldn't mention this to the press until we finish our investigation. A shoe, a piece of clothing? It's not very positive identification.
No, sir. I didn't want to mention it in front of the Sun.
You sound like you don't want to mention it in front of anybody.
Well, we found Mr. Webley's dentures, sir.
His dentures?
Yes, sir. The dentist has already verified them.
Well, who found them?
The foreman of the wrench. Do you know that Mr. Webley's teeth cost more than my mother's house?
Any idea how he ended up in the lion's cage?
Yes, sir, I think so. You notice the scuff marks in the sod? Well, it looks as if Mr. Webley was dragged all the way down here. Whether he was alive or dead, we don't know.
Why would the killer put him in a lion's cage?
So the lions could eat him, sir. Of course, if the killer was trying to make it look accidental, he didn't cover his tracks very well.
That's what I meant. It may be tougher to prove murder without a body, but how would the killer know that the lion would eat him beyond recognition?
Well, the person who looks after the lions was away for several days. Those lions were awfully hungry, sir. And according to the foreman, Mr. Webley himself was going to feed the lions last night.
Well, he did do that, didn't he?
Yes, sir. Oh. Now, you can see further signs of someone being dragged along here. See the shoe marks? And there are more marks up here, sir.
Have you talked to anyone in the house?
Well, the butler said he was up till a little after midnight when a Mr. Astroff arrived.
Astroff?
Yes, sir. Mr. Webley was expecting him.
The butler told you that?
Yes, sir. Mr. Webley told him to wait up until Astroff arrived and then show him into the library.
What have you got, Harrison?
Nothing much, sir. A splotch of blood on the chair. No weapon. Someone tried to make it look like there wasn't any struggle. But the blood hasn't been here more than 12 hours.
Hello, Commissioner.
Oh, Rachel. Rachel, this is Sergeant Enright. How do you do? What happened last night, Rachel, after we left?
I don't know. I knew Ewing was upset, so after the guests left, I went right to bed.
What was he upset about?
Me.
Because of Ilya?
I told Ewing it was nothing, but he wouldn't believe me.
Ilya came back here last night, Rachel.
I know. Clifford told me.
Clifford?
Our butler.
Did you hear anything unusual? An argument, perhaps?
I took 2 sleeping pills.
Yeah, what about you, Walter? Did you hear anything?
No, I didn't spend the night here last night. The vases. The vases are missing.
Those drab old things, Walter?
Those drab old things are Ming Dynasty and worth a small fortune. Rachel's idea of a work of art is a $1,000 bill.
You would never talk to me like that in front of your father.
Commissioner, I'm sure these vases were up there last night.
Yes, well, if you see anything else missing, Walter, why? Be sure and report it to Sergeant Enright.
Excuse me, sir. When you have time, I'd like to go over this list of your employees with you.
Certainly. But you won't find the killer on that list.
Who did it, man?
The lions.
The lions? Who in their right mind would go into a lion cage?
The lion tamer would.
I said, who in their right minds?
What's the number of the tennis club?
555-7942.
749?
7942.
7942. Hello, this is Commissioner McMillan. Has Ilya Astroff come in yet? He hasn't. All right. Thank you. Didn't call, didn't show.
You don't think that Ilya did it?
When I find him, I'll ask you.
He said he'd call me right after the meeting, but I haven't heard from him yet.
You're sure it was Ewing Webley on the phone?
I'm positive. I have a key. Ilya! Ilya? Well, he obviously did not sleep here last night.
It's obvious he left in a hurry, too.
All the toilet articles are gone.
Wherever he went, he certainly didn't plan to play any tennis.
You know, I've never been to a funeral service in a crypt before.
Well, I think we can assume it's not the social event of the current season.
Mildred, would you wear this black one?
Me, never. Black's too depressing.
Well, I don't want to wear anything inappropriate.
I always like to put myself in the position of the deceased. In a manner of speaking, of course. I mean, if it was my funeral, I wouldn't like a lot of people standing around looking like they were going to a funeral.
What would you wear?
What kind of a man was Ewing Webley?
Strong, decisive, very rich.
How'd he like his women?
Young and beautiful.
Just once, I'd like to hear one of these titans of industry say that they like their women older, with lots of character.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, well, young and beautiful, huh? Here, how about this one? If I was Ewing Webley, I'd like to see you in this one.
Mildred, I can't wear that one.
Why not?
Well, this is the dress that I always wear on special occasions when I want to seduce Mac.
You need a special occasion to seduce him?
Yeah, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays.
What about the other 3 days of the week?
He seduces me. Besides, there's 4 days, not 3. I've got it. What about this one?
Oh, yeah, I like it. Splits the difference. Tasteful but subdued.
My thoughts exactly.
Sally, let's get going. We'll be late to the crypt.
I'll be just another minute.
You're not going to wear that slinky thing to a crypt, are you?
What day is it?
24th.
Of the week.
Wednesday.
I'm going to wear this one.
Right. I'll be downstairs pacing.
What are those other 2 folds for?
One is for you, one is for me.
But we won't die for ages and ages. Poor Ewing. He's going to be alone for a long time. Look at Walter and Rachel. Well, they don't look very grief-stricken to me.
That's true.
Well, they could have done it just as well as Elia.
You're just prejudiced where green-eyed tennis pros are concerned.
Who has the most to gain by Ewing's death?
Probably Walter or Rachel. But the fact that they're not overcome with grief doesn't make them capable of murder.
You never can tell.
And it was your friend Astroff who was taken about her.
Well, he's probably scared.
Oh.
Hi, Mrs.
What's up,
McMillan.
Charlie?
Hi, Sergeant.
Well, I came over, sir, because the foreman filed a missing persons report on one of the workers, and I thought I ought to talk to him.
Well, why don't you take the car? I'll go with Charlie.
All right. Any word on Elia yet?
No, ma'am. A couple of people phoned in that they saw him, but it didn't check out.
Don't forget the M&N Béarnaise sauce.
I thought that cooking school of yours taught you to make your own.
Oh, they do. You try and try until you get it just right. Then you go out and find somebody that does it better than you do.
M&N.
M&N. Now, if you find Elia, be nice to him. I'm sure he didn't do it. See you later.
She sounds positive.
Well, you don't give up a good tennis pro without a struggle.
Ah, Senor Martinez.
Oh, Sergeant, how do you do?
May I present Commissioner McMillan?
Well, senor.
Commissioner, I was going to call you to cancel the missing persons report.
Oh, he showed up then?
A letter arrived from Sevilla this morning.
From Caracas. I don't speak Spanish.
He says he was homesick for his family, and he apologizes for not quitting properly and wants to thank the patron for the many years of employment. He also says that he's very happy where his nieces and nephews can take good care of him.
Then may I keep that? I'll have missing persons remove his name from their lists.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Senor Martinez, did you see anything, or did any of the people around here see anything unusual the night of the murder?
Well, do you know of anyone who might have wanted Mr. Webley dead?
Mr. Webley had what my people call pundonor, a man with courage who's not afraid to use his hands. He never forgot his common origins. No, he had no enemies among the workers.
Well, if you think of anything unusual, why, please call us.
Be glad to.
Get over to probate. See what you can find out about the Webley estate. What do you mean he won't cooperate? What do I have to do? Come down there myself? Wait a minute, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that two goons dragged this guy out of a restaurant, haul him out into a parking lot, set fire to his pants, and he won't press charges? Oh, family quarrel, I see. Sure. Well, don't let him go. I don't care. Dance that lawyer around for an hour until I come down and talk to him. Okay. Hiya.
What was that all about? Anyway, Mac, I came down to see if you'd like to take me to lunch. I know this charming little Slavic restaurant that's run by a man named Mr.
Borovich?
How did you know? Anyway, I thought we could get a delicious lunch and then maybe sit and talk to him for a little while.
About Ilya Astrov?
Well, yes.
Well, no. Because I'm going to do it, not you.
But, Mac,
Don't butt me. And you know I'm having lunch with the mayor.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot.
So you thought you'd just mosey down here and see if I'd spoken to Borovich yet.
You know I never meddle.
Well, what do you call it?
Contributing.
Sally, love of my life, please, stay out of this one. It's too dangerous, too difficult, and I don't want to have to worry about you.
Mac, Mr. Borovich and Ilya are very, very close. Besides, you know how those Middle European men can be, very charming and evasive. They're not going to tell you a thing.
Whereas you...
Whereas I, with my infinite charm and innocent demeanor, could wring information out of a store window dummy.
Then go window shopping on your lunch hour and stay away from Borovich.
Mac!
Sally!
You know you can be very forceful when you want to be. Must be the power of the office.
Flattery will get you nowhere.
I'm not flattering you. I'm extremely impressed.
Stop. I'm getting a swelled head. I'll see you at home.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Do give my best to the mayor.
I will. And Sally?
Yes.
No Borovich.
Mac,
Yeah?
I love you. Mr. Borovich, I'm a friend of Ilya Astrov, and he told me that you're the very best friend that he has in this country.
He's like a son, but he has much to learn. The stories in the news sadden me.
You don't think that Ilya is capable of murder?
I think there is a breaking point in every man that should not be tested.
Would you have him call me?
I don't know where he is.
Mr. Borovich, he's in trouble. I'm sure he's going to contact you.
He hasn't contacted me.
If he does, will you tell him to call my husband and give himself up? Please?
I could try to persuade him. But Ilya is a man who makes his own decisions.
Tell him that my husband is a fair man, that he won't be railroaded or anything like that.
I'm sure your husband is just. A woman always reflects the character of the man she lives with.
That works both ways, you know.
Ah, yes. These are modern times. In my house, a woman is not allowed to smoke.
Good for you. It's a nasty habit.
Mrs. McMillan, I am like a godfather to the Slavic people in the city. I'll pass your words along.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. We've got to stop meeting like this.
Let me see your badge.
What badge?
Looking for a fugitive from justice requires a badge, Mrs.
Uh-huh. We're down to that, are we? What are you doing here anyway, man?
Looking for a fugitive. Sally, I told you I wanted to talk to Mr. Borovich. I asked you not to.
Since you were supposed to be having lunch with the mayor, I thought you might get tied up and you'd appreciate the help.
Well, I did have lunch with the mayor.
How is he anyway?
Oh, fine. He's... What did Borovich say?
He says he doesn't know where Ilya is.
You're sure?
Yes, Mr. Borovich wouldn't lie to me, Mac.
Oh, I see. Whatever Mr. Borovich tells you, that's it.
Intuition, Mac.
It's the same intuition that tells you that Astrov is not the killer, huh?
He's a killer, all right, on the tennis courts. Only, watch out.
taking up tennis, Charlie?
This is a beautiful racket, sir. Is it new?
Sally gave it to me. She thinks I ought to get out more.
Well, she's got a very good point, sir. A healthy body is a happy body.
A healthy body is a happy body. Got it. Any leads on Astroff?
Not really, sir. I had breakfast with Pinson. He's an investigator over at probate.
What do you have?
1 egg, 3 minutes. 2 slices of bacon, crisp.
What information did he have?
Oh. Well, according to him, the Webley Corporation was up to its eyebrows in debt to the banks.
Oh?
And by the time the government takes its cut out of the estate, there's not going to be anything left. Commissioner, will you tell me how a man with $1 million goes broke?
He spends $1.5 million.
Well, I guess that's what he did. Pinson says that the corporation was always one loan ahead of bankruptcy.
Anything illegal?
No, sir. Nothing that's been established. But the money that was borrowed from the banks didn't always go back into the businesses. A lot of it ended up with the Webley Charity Foundation.
Tax exemption?
Yes, sir.
All right, I want you to check that foundation out. Find out where the money went, who authorized what, and anything else you can find.
Right away, sir.
Charlie?
Oh.
Oh, that sounds lovely, dear. Yeah, but I'll have to check my calendar. Hold on for a moment, all right? Just a minute. Oh, it's great. Yes, dinner tonight will be lovely. Where should we meet? At the restaurant. All right, fine. See you later. Bye-bye.
Mildred, was that for me?
Nope, was for me. Sarah Jukes wants to take me to dinner tonight.
Oh.
Told her I'd have to check with you first, though.
Oh, that's fine with me. I didn't know what we were going to serve for dinner tonight anyway. I just thought I'd get Mac to take me out.
Oh, good, because actually I did accept. But I would cancel if you wanted me to.
No, that's fine. Where's she going to take you?
I know some place I never heard of. Le Peterman.
Le Peterman? Mildred, that's the most exclusive French restaurant in all of San Francisco. You have to wait days to get reservations there.
Well, Sarah's very well connected.
You can say that again.
Oh, I guess I'll have to dress up. Wonder what I should wear.
Why don't you wear that cute little dress with the beige stripes?
No, Sarah says stripes makes me look chunky. I think I'll stick with the polka dots, you know?
Mildred, I don't want to rain on your parade. But did it ever occur to you that Sarah might be buttering you up just to pump you about Mac's investigation?
Sarah is too well bred for that.
I just don't want you to be disappointed.
No, I'll tell you why I think Sarah likes me, because I'm all the things she's not. Good sense of humor.
Refreshingly candid.
Unaffected.
Honest.
Oh, yeah, that too. Oh, I tell you, Mrs. McMillan, I'm really kind of just too marvelous for words.
And so modest.
Ah, most of all, that. Well, I hate to stop this conversation, but I have to go bathe in unguents and oils.
Unguents and oils?
I'm gonna shower, Kitty.
Look, whatever the problems are, we'll confront them. Yes. Yes, of course. I want no unnecessary delays. Just get this through probate as fast as possible. I don't want to be tied up with this thing forever. Right. That's right. Goodbye.
It's not only unfair, Walter. It's not possible.
$500 a week is a lot of money. You get to keep all your diamonds and furs.
Maybe for 1 or 2 days, but 1 week.
That's all he left.
I just can't believe it. 6 of the best years in a girl's life I gave to that. He reaches out to me even from the grave. It's downright rude.
Did you really think that Ewing was going to leave everything he worked for to a Vegas chorus girl and a tennis pro? Everything my father controlled was like a toy to him. He left all his toys to his son. Simple as that.
You know, Walter, your father used to think that I was the most glistening toy of all.
Third District, Sergeant Halliday.
Halliday, this is Comparini.
Yeah, Paul, what is it?
My place. He hit me. The tennis guy.
Hey, Camperini, you still there? We're on our way. Camperini!
Astroph.
Get me Sergeant Enright.
He was shot once in the back, sir, but he lived long enough to phone the police.
You're sure his final word was Astroff?
Sergeant Halliday has a tape of all incoming calls at his desk, sir.
Oh,
that phone will be dusted for prints. Yeah. There's one thing that doesn't make sense. What was Ilya Astroff doing here?
Ming Dynasty vases.
That is very good, sir. But how would he know that this particular antique dealer was also a fence?
Well, Camperini hung out with the jet set, didn't he? They're the ones who can afford these things.
Well, they match what's in this picture, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Astroff's got running money now.
Check with immigration, his visa status, any new applications. Probably got enough money now to get himself a new passport and a new appearance to match. Ewing had good taste.
What do you do with them?
Well, you look at them.
Well, they don't do anything for me.
Think how much money they cost.
Yeah. Yes, that helps.
Hi.
Hi.
How was your day?
Horrible.
Mine too. My backhand has completely disappeared. I don't know why I even go out in the courts. It's so embarrassing. Then after that disaster, I had lunch with Gertrude Engelbach. You know her. She works with the charity. She suggested that we go over and see the Giacometti exhibit. We had to stand in line for so... How did you say your day was?
Oh, horrible.
You really mean that, don't you?
Would I ever lie to you?
Oh, what happened?
An antique dealer was murdered today in North Beach. Paul Camperini. Guess what his last word was? Astroff.
Ilya?
You know those missing vases from Ewing's library? They were in Camperini's safe.
Well, it looks like Ilya has murdered 2 people, doesn't it?
Anything's still possible.
It is? Maybe you'd be interested in what I found out today.
Have you been snooping around again?
Just a little bit. Ilya's manager has a policy with Lloyd's of London that pays him $500,000 if Ilya, through death or injury, can't play tennis.
How'd you find that out?
Gertrude Engelbach's husband wrote up the policy.
That's a nifty-looking dress, Mildred. Where are you going?
Out to dinner with Sarah Jukes.
Oh, yes, the highest-paid housekeeper in the Bay Area.
She makes enough money to take her friends to very classy restaurants.
What about our dinner?
Oh, that's taken care of. I'm cooking dinner tonight.
Yes, another one of her gourmet delights. Enjoy.
The last gourmet delight was a nut casserole dipped in goat butter.
Yes, and you know how much you like that one? You're going to like the one I've got cooking even more.
What is it?
Well, you've never had it before. Rattlesnake. Rattlesnake béarnaise.
I have an idea. Why don't you and Mildred have rattlesnake béarnaise for lunch tomorrow, and meanwhile, why don't we go out for dinner tonight?
You think so? Only take me a minute to get dressed.
Rattlesnake béarnaise?
Good night, Commissioner.
Oh, good evening, Dante.
How do you do, Miss Jukes? Hello. Your table is ready. Would you follow me, please?
Yes, thank you very much.
This way, please.
Come along, Mildred.
Later, madame.
Thank you. Oh, no. We'll start off with the vichyssoise. Then the filet, English cut. Medium rare. And the asparagus with just a pinch of lemon.
Pinch of lemon. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Mildred, there's much concerning life and relationships with employers that you have to relearn.
Where do I begin?
With your hair.
My hair? What's that got to do with working for the McMillans?
We must find a new image for you. One that creates more, detachment.
Well, I'm game to try anything once.
Tell me, Mildred, what are your duties with the McMillans?
Oh, just about everything. I'm sort of jack of all trades in the household.
Really? Your obligations should be clearly defined.
Well, what's to define about a dust rag on a grocery list?
Oh, I never pick up a dust cloth.
No kidding. How do you manage that?
I have a staff of 4.
Oh, yeah, well, things are a little different at the McMillans. We keep it pretty informal.
Yes, I'm beginning to realize that. Oh, you're too familiar with them, Mildred. Don't you see? Once you allow that to happen, it's extremely difficult to get a raise. Instead, they give you, affection.
Oh, well, to tell you the truth, Sarah, I'll settle for affection any old day.
Well, as long as you have such a familiar relationship with them, you might want to pass on a bit of information.
Such as?
That if your employer does not cease hounding my employer, then my employer is going to pillory your employer in his various media.
Wow. The commissioner's never been pilloried there before.
Oh, this is no time for levity, Mildred.
Well, in that case, you can pass this along. My employer is not afraid of your employer, and he intends to do everything he has to do in order to solve this case, no matter who's involved.
How unprofessional of you.
Yeah, well, different strokes for different folks, Sarah.
How is the vichyssoise?
A little heavy on the vichy or the soise, but I haven't figured it out yet.
If you discharge that many men, senor, there will not be enough hands.
It'll work out, Ronaldo. We're getting out of the beef business and the game preserve business. It's just too expensive to operate. Comprendes?
I will give the man their notice.
Fine.
What's Walter so hot under the collar about?
He wants his Ming vases back.
What about immigration?
Well, there's no record of Astrov having used his Yugoslavian passport to leave the country. I'd say the odds are he's still around.
Well, I didn't say he's still in the city.
Oh, we keep checking planes, buses, trains, car rentals, etc. There's no trace.
Put a tail on Hoffenstein, Mrs. Webley, and Walter. And Borovich.
If you don't mind, sir, I'll take Mrs. Webley myself.
Your father always wanted to know how the men were doing personally.
I am more concerned with operating this place efficiently. Comprendes? That'll be all, Martinez.
Senor? Well, Walter? I came out here personally to ask your permission.
Did you bring the vases?
No, there's still evidence in a murder case. You'll get them soon enough.
What about Mr. Ostrov?
Nothing.
Did you check the North Beach area?
We sure did.
He's already killed 2 people and you can't find him. That doesn't speak very well for the police, does it, Commissioner?
I'm not so sure he murdered the antique dealer.
You've got the dying man's voice on a tape implicating Ostrov, and you're not sure?
If the dying man made a phone call to the police and then died, he'd leave prints. There were no fingerprints on the telephone.
Maybe the killer came back and wiped the prints off.
You mean Ilya?
I mean the killer, Walter.
Sure. The murderer kills the antique dealer and then leaves the room. The antique dealer drags himself to the telephone, makes the phone call, dies. Then the killer comes back and wipes the prints off the telephone.
Doesn't sound right, does it?
Not even close.
Well, I'm off to town. You have a nice day. Is everything all right, Walter?
Goodbye, Rachel.
Isn't he adorable?
There's a simple but embarrassing explanation, Commissioner. The police arrive, and under the pressure of the moment, they use the antique dealer's phone to call the lab men. Then the unthinking police officer realizes he goofed, wipes his fingerprints and everything else off the phone.
That's possible.
I don't understand. You're the commissioner of police, and you're just about the only one in this town who does not believe that Astroff killed my father.
I'm just not as sure as everyone else. Your father was a powerful man. There's an awful lot of people who would like to see him dead.
So you're the reason that the estate is being held up in probate?
No, the reason is the law. A corporation just can't borrow money from the banks to transfer it to charity foundations. Banks loan money to businesses, not charities.
So what do you intend to do? Drag the Webley name through the courts to keep the wolves off your back?
I'm simply trying to find the murderer of your father.
And what are you wasting your time out here for?
Because I came out here personally to ask your permission to go through the Webley books.
No, not a chance.
We'll get a court order.
You allow a man known to millions of television viewers to slip through your fingers, so now you're on a fishing expedition to hide your incompetence? Humiliating, isn't it? Oh, and by the way, isn't Sally a friend of Astroff's?
She is. She's also a friend of yours.
Maybe you're not looking hard enough.
You don't really believe that.
It can be made to look that way. The Webley media has been kind to you up until now. Commissioner?
Cannot kindness.
Wherever you are.
Yes, Commissioner. I'm on a stakeout at the Webley residence here in the city.
I take it the beautiful widow's inside.
That she is, sir.
Good. What about the others?
Well, they're under surveillance, too.
All right, I'll be at home. And add Walter to your list.
Will do. Commissioner, have a very pleasant evening.
Hi, Sergeant.
Evening, ma'am.
Isn't this a coincidence, running into you like this?
Well, I was just going to, stop and have a bite to eat.
Oh, Sergeant, there isn't a restaurant within 10 blocks of here.
Oh, well, I've got a little bit of dinner in here.
Oh, it looks awful.
Not really. Chocolate milk, sardine sandwich.
You know, you're just not sneaky enough to make a good cop. Am I a suspect or something?
Well, ma'am, to tell you the truth, I have orders to keep my eye on you.
Is that going to be a little difficult with you out here and me in there?
Well, I mean, an eye on the apartment.
Do you want to kill two birds with one stone?
Ma'am?
Keep an eye on me and the apartment.
Ma'am?
You are going to be out here watching the apartment all night, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am, I'm afraid so.
Well, then why did you come inside? I'm not going out.
Well, that's highly irregular.
But it's just awful if you have to stay out here all night.
Well, I have to agree with you on that.
Well, then don't be silly. Come on in. Come on.
Here we are, Sergeant.
Thank you. Uh-oh. I'm afraid I can't eat those pastries. I'll bloat up right here on the spot.
Oh, you can't be on a diet all the time.
Well, I am, though. You know, it's really bad. I mean, if I so much as walk by a bakery, I gain weight.
What a shame. Oh, it's so muggy. I think I'll go take a shower. Go ahead, watch television if you like.
Oh, can I use your telephone?
Sure.
This is Sergeant Enright.
I can be reached at 555-8787. Right, thank you.
Oh, Mildred.
Oh, hi, Commissioner. Want a snack?
What is it?
Leftover rattlesnake béarnaise.
With or without the venom? It tastes suspiciously like tuna fish to me.
Gee, I wouldn't know. You'll have to take that up with the missus.
Where is she?
She wants you to pick her up at the tennis club. She's hanging around there waiting for a game.
That's all I need to be married to a tennis club.
Right.
Enjoy the snake, Mildred, but be careful of the fangs.
Sweet.
With the Secretary of State due back in Washington on Tuesday. Locally, police continue their search for professional tennis player Ilya Astrov, wanted in connection with the murders of Ewing Webley and antique dealer Paul Comparini. We have received word, although it's unconfirmed at this time, that Police Commissioner Stuart McMillan is continuing to look for other suspects. This despite the substantial evidence pointing at Astrov. We'll have all the sports for you after this message.
Hello, this is Commissioner McMillan. I'd like to talk to Sergeant Enright. Can you put me through on this line, please? Yes, I'll wait.
In hockey, the Wings took the Blaze 3-1. The Hawks edged the Rangers 4-3, and the Canadiens blitzed LA 8-0. In NBA action, the Lakers edged the Warriors 117. That's the Lakers' fourth in a row, and it puts them back into a tie for first place. And for the Warriors, they haven't beaten the Lakers now their last 5 tries. That goes back to the last month of last season.
This is Webley, telephone.
In action, Portland walloped the Bucks 123-99. New York devastated Boston 106-92. Cincinnati squeaked by Baltimore 105-104 in overtime. And Chicago routed Philadelphia 109-104. Submissions 145 the third round. They're scheduled 10-rounder tonight. Now that's it in sports.
Hello, Sergeant Enright here.
How is everything, Charlie?
Sir?
You keeping a close watch on Rachel?
Well, sir,
Something wrong, Charlie?
I lost her, sir.
Something's wrong, Charlie.
I would say so. Yes, sir. She said that she was going to go take a shower, and then...
You can relax. Rachel's here at the tennis club playing with Sally.
Well, why would she go and pull a stunt like that?
Fun and games. Maybe you better watch Walter instead. At least with him, you won't fall for that old shower routine.
Yes, sir. Now you know why I never went in for vice work.
Now I know.
play with you. That was a nice game.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Mrs. Webley?
Yes?
There's a phone call for you.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hi, Mac.
That bad, huh?
Hello, Commissioner.
Rachel,
Do you know that she beat me? Do you believe it?
where's she going?
I don't know. She's gonna take the 4th phone call that she's had with one set.
Very popular widow.
I thought I could beat her. I almost did beat her. You know, there's a lot more to Rachel than meets the eye.
I think Enright might agree with that statement.
Did she beat him too?
More or less.
You know, at first she comes on with that sort of dumb image, but after a while you find out that she's a very self-sufficient girl underneath.
Well, goodbye, you two.
Don't you want to play another set?
Oh, I can't. I've just been invited to go to a party. I think it's best I start going out again. But I'll be home all next week. Why don't you give me a call? We'll play.
Okay.
Bye, Commissioner.
Bye, Rachel.
Well, there's a new little Italian place just opened across the street. You want to give it a try?
That certainly beats your rattlesnake offer, but I think I'll see you at home. Do you mind?
Where are you going?
Well, I think she's just as smart as you think she is. This is Commissioner McMillan. Get me Sergeant Enright.
Mac, you're going to have to be more careful. Whoever tried to kill you could try again, you know.
I must be getting close.
To who? Whom? Walter? Rachel?
You're forgetting Ilya Astrov.
Somebody else could have done it, you know.
Oh, yeah, like who? Who?
You were right the first time. Ted Hoffenstein, you're forgetting him.
You'll blame anyone but Astrov.
Well, it is true that my backhand has been deteriorating since he left.
You think Hoffenstein framed Astrov?
Could be.
I don't. His policy doesn't pay off on any criminal acts by Astrov. Only death or injury.
Well, that's good, because I'm having lunch with Ted tomorrow at the tennis club in town.
What does he want to have lunch with you for?
He just called a little while ago to make the date. If nothing else, maybe he could recommend a new tennis instructor.
Commissioner McMillan? Sergeant?
Mrs. Webley in?
Yes, she is. Would you like to come in?
Yep.
I'm afraid we are a bit disorganized today. The estate auditors just seem to be everywhere.
Mrs. Webley sleep here last night?
Yes, she did. She's having her breakfast out on the veranda.
Would you tell her I'd like to see her, please?
Certainly, sir.
Commissioner? Will you look at these paintings?
What about them?
I may be ill.
Why? Some of these are quite beautiful.
But look at the prices on these.
Well, great art's become big business, Charlie.
You're telling me. Well, now, take this picture, sir.
Picasso.
What do you think of it?
Well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Well, to this beholder, this woman here, it is a woman, isn't it?
Well, yes, I think so.
Well, this woman looks like a hard-boiled Easter egg.
Well, at $150,000 appraised value, I'd like to have it in my Easter basket.
Well, confidentially, sir, I wouldn't give you a nickel for it.
Is that a firm offer to the estate?
Oh, excuse me. No, I was just offering a personal opinion.
You strike me, young man, as someone whose tastes run more to those clowns with the weepy eyes.
Well, I may not know much about art.
But he knows what he likes.
Commissioner? Yes. Mrs. Webley will see you out on the veranda.
Thank you.
Oh, sir? Well, I'm a little embarrassed about last night, sir. So...
Oh, you want to wait here?
If you don't mind.
No.
Good morning.
Hello, Rachel.
Would you care for some coffee?
What kind of games do you have in store for us today?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Tell that sergeant that I thought it was the fun thing to do at the time.
Where did you go last night?
To a party.
Where?
On a yacht.
Whose yacht?
Some rich young thing. Adrian Perry's his name. You sure you don't want some coffee?
Positive. Where's Astrov?
He hasn't contacted me. Honest, you really are mad, aren't you?
You damned right I am. Somebody tried to run me off a cliff. I don't like that. It clutters up my day. So tell us what you know and save yourself a lot of grief.
All I know is that my husband's dead, and a very attractive young acquaintance is missing.
Mm-hmm. And what do you make of all that? Did the very attractive acquaintance do in your husband as we're all led to believe?
I don't think so. At least I didn't think so until that antique dealer was shot.
If it was Astrov, why would he try to run me off a cliff?
Maybe it was an accident.
Yeah, accident.
Listen, when you see that sergeant, you tell him I think he's cute in a kinky sort of way.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
You know you are cute. In a kinky sort of way.
Thank you, sir.
Anything yet on Astrov?
No, sir, but some very interesting facts on Walter Webley. Let me see if I can get this straight now. Okay. Now, for the past 3 months, each time the bank loans were transferred to the tax-exempt foundation, young Webley flew into Venezuela, and he deposited the money there.
How much involved?
$10 million.
10 million? Get a court order. I want to see those books.
Well, you've really gone to a lot of trouble. You don't really think I killed my father, do you?
There's $10 million missing, Walter.
No, not missing, Commissioner. I just invested. South America, the interest rates are higher there.
Your idea, your father's?
My father's. It's all documented. He wanted as many funds as possible funneled through the foundation.
I see. So that if the Webley companies go under, the money from the Webley Foundation can't be touched.
Well, that's the way it goes on the corporate battlefields. There's nothing illegal about it.
Unless a conspiracy to defraud the bank can be proved.
Well, you'll have to admit that's not likely, since the conspiracy, if it did exist, did so solely in the mind of my father. He's dead.
Oh, what is the money invested in?
Condominiums in Caracas.
In Caracas. How nice. See you, Walter.
Sergeant.
Enright, what do you make of it?
Well, sir, if he knew his father's conglomerate was collapsing, and he wanted to grab some money off of a sinking ship, but his father found out about it, that certainly is a motive, sir.
That would mean he'd have to stash the money in South America instead of investing it. I'll see what I can find out. I'll call somebody in Caracas.
Commissioner, what if it's invested properly, like Walter says?
That would mean Astroff remains #1 on our list.
Mrs. McMillan, I got a special delivery letter from Ilya yesterday.
Where is he?
I believe he's still in the city. He heard that you were looking for him, and he asked me to talk to you.
Teddy should give himself up.
I think he may have that in mind, actually. He wants to see your husband tonight at Borovich's restaurant.
He wants to see Mac?
At midnight. He will see that the front door is left unlocked. I suppose he's afraid that the police themselves might just start shooting. Mrs. McMillan, maybe...
Ted, you don't think that Ilya killed Ewing, do you?
I have tried for years to persuade tennis fans that Ilya's outbursts are part of the promotion. But they are, I'm afraid, the real thing. And when a grown man like that has tantrums, well, somebody can get killed.
Hi, Mac.
Hi. Walter gets more charming every day.
What does it say?
Mildred?
Yes.
It's not Mildred.
Well, it's not Mata Hari, if that's what you're thinking.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Don't you like it, Mac?
Well, I can't see your face.
That's okay. I can't see yours either.
Listen to this. Does the commissioner seek sensational mileage out of the Webley name in his bid to become the next governor?
Governor? I didn't know you wanted to be governor.
You didn't, so... Why, Mac, I thought you told Sergeant Enright everything.
Well, not everything, Sally. It isn't that I want to be governor. It's just that Sally wants to be first lady.
Let me see the signed Walter Webley. I'm going to speak to Sarah Jukes about this. Can I have this?
With pleasure. Was that really Mildred?
I don't know. It sounded like her.
Charlie, you look like you have tired blood. Is that Diet or Rachel?
Rachel. She moves around an awful lot, sir. In fact, I think she's preparing to meet with Astroff.
What makes you think that?
She picked up a renewed passport today.
Where is she now?
Back at her apartment.
Anyone on stakeout?
Yeah, I got a relief man till morning. I can sure use the sleep.
Yeah, well, you better get as much as you can.
Thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome, Sergeant. Good night.
I have a hunch Rachel's going to be much more active.
You know, Commissioner, this whole case is beginning to get very strange.
It's been strange from the beginning.
Are you really going to run for governor?
Well, Charlie, if the people insist, I have no choice. Now for a nice, quiet evening at home. Where shall we start?
I think you might want to start by reading this.
What took you so long?
Well, I wanted to wait for Sergeant Enright to leave.
You're not thinking of going there without me.
Oh, no. I've been adequately warned.
Are you sure this is on the up and up?
Well, if it isn't, why would Ilya want to see you?
Door locked?
Matt, maybe we should...
If anything goes wrong, call Enright.
You think you're gonna need that gun?
I hope not. Ilya?
Get me Sergeant Enright. Oh, Mac.
Do you know how much it hurts to be hit over the head with whatever it was I was hit over the head with? most unredeeming experience of all time.
It's all my fault.
Your fault.
Well, I was wrong about Elia. We should have called the police.
I am the police.
Commissioner, it's not the same thing. Hi,
McMillan?
Sergeant.
Commissioner? How you feeling?
My head hurts.
His head hurts.
I'm also getting an echo.
Well, at least you got your man.
My man?
His man?
There it is again.
Astroff, sir.
What are you talking about?
Well, we also found his body in the restaurant. You shot him.
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm afraid you did, sir. The bullet was fired from your gun at a very close range.
I didn't shoot anybody.
Well, I had a hard time believing it, sir, but it was your bullet in Elia's body, and there were no other wounds.
All right. Somebody hit me over the head, took my gun, and shot him.
Who, Mac?
I don't know.
You know, sir, downtown, everybody thinks this is all over. They've taken surveillance off of everybody. So I'd better gear it up again.
No, the case is officially closed. Leave it that way.
What about unofficially, sir?
Do you think you could keep an eye on Rachel?
Yes, I can. I've learned my lesson, sir. Believe me, she won't suspect a thing.
You don't think that Rachel killed Ewing, do you, Mac?
No, she couldn't have. At least not alone. But she might lead us to whoever did it. Who took that call from Comparini?
Halliday, down at the North Beach district.
See if we can get him over here.
Third District, Sergeant Halliday?
Halliday. This is Comparini.
Yeah, Paul, what is it?
My place. He hit me. The tennis guy.
Hey, Camperini, you still there? We're on our way. Camperini!
Astroff.
Are you sure that voice was Comparini's?
Well, sir, when I was on street patrol, I got to know him pretty well. I thought I recognized his voice when I answered the call, but, you know, it's so whispery and so gasping. No, sir, I cannot state positively, Commissioner.
What time did the call come in?
3:30 p.m. on the 7th.
If Comparini were already dead when he supposedly telephoned you, that could explain why there were no fingerprints on the telephone.
Mac, I'm getting confused.
Well, what if somebody killed Comparini, then telephoned the police pretending he was Comparini?
Ah, someone who wanted you to think that Elia was the killer.
Right. And who wanted us to think that Elia was still on the run. But what if Elia were already dead?
Mac, he was at Borovich's last night.
His body was.
Mac, if Elia had been dead that long, the coroner would have spotted it last night.
Not if it were carefully preserved.
There'd still be two wounds, the original and the one from your gun.
Not if the killer took my gun and shot him in exactly the same place.
Oh. Back to the question of preserving the body.
How often does Mildred go to the market?
I don't know, once a week. Once every 2 weeks, why?
And what does she do with the meat that she doesn't cook right away?
Well, she puts it in the Ewing's freezer.
Thank you, Halliday. You've been of great help.
Thank you, sir.
We're shutting it down next week, as soon as the last of the beef is shipped.
Be sure and get as many blood samples as possible.
We're doing that now, sir.
What happened to your new hairdo?
Oh, I'm too familiar to be distant.
Oh. Is this steak or is it kangaroo or something?
Well, if it's kangaroo, I'm swearing out a warrant against the butcher.
I'll get it. You eat the kangaroo. McMillan residence.
She used to just say hello.
I think that's the lingering influence of Sarah Jukes.
Oh, yeah.
It's the lab. I'll tell them to call
I'll
back,
take it.
okay?
No, I'll take it. Yeah. Oh, only one, huh? All right. Thank you.
What was that?
They found human blood in the meat freezer.
Was it Ilya's?
It's the same type.
Should never have gotten mixed up with Rachel at all. It's what Sarah's been saying from the beginning.
All this time he was supposedly on the run. He was hanging like a side of beef in the meat freezer.
Why'd they stash him away in there?
To preserve the body.
Ugh.
Then bringing it out at the proper time so the police could find their fugitive.
Since you were getting close, you were the ideal candidate to be set up to shoot Ilya.
Correct. Whoever did it naturally assumed I would close the case.
Then the same person that killed Ewing also killed Ilya.
Probably.
Mac, do you think that Rachel and Walter...
I'm expecting a long-distance phone call.
Yeah, hello.
So much for Sarah Jukes.
Who do we know in Caracas?
That's the phone call. I'll take it. Hello? Yes. Yes, this is he. No, operator, I want to talk to the president of the Venezuela National Bank. Yes, I'll wait. Hello, Senor Presidente. Yes, did you find the information I wanted? Oh, you did? Then it is a joint bank account. That's what I thought. Yes, well, thank you. Muchas gracias. Yes, I should. Yes. Yes, I will, sir. Thank you. Goodbye.
You should what?
Learn to speak Spanish. A $10 million A $10 million joint bank account registered to the Silverio Gonzalez Land Development Company, payable to Mr. and or Mrs. Silverio Gonzalez.
Silverio Gonzalez. That's the worker that went back to South America, isn't it?
The worker who allegedly went back to South America.
Car 36.
36, and right here.
Sergeant, I have the commissioner on the line. I'm patching him through.
Go ahead.
Charlie,
Yes, sir.
where are you?
Well, I'm right outside the mansion, sir. Rachel Webley drove onto the grounds about 40 minutes ago.
I'm coming right now, Sergeant. Call me on the car phone if she leaves.
Yes, sir. 10-4.
What's funny?
I always feel silly, sir, when I say 10-4.
How about 5-2?
Goodbye, sir. 5-2.
Are you here? What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
It's all coming together.
You're kidding. Tell me.
Can't. Gotta run.
You're gonna run? Leave me in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
Mac, take me in the car. Explain it to me on the way.
No chance.
Mac!
N-O.
Commissioner?
And I'm not taking you either.
I was just going to say, when you're right, you're right.
Why, thank you, Mildred. And you're a wise, rational, mature woman. Tell you later.
You're a wise, rational, mature woman. You're a wise, rational, mature fink.
Commissioner.
Evening, Clifford. Mrs.
Good
Webley
evening.
in?
No, sir. You just missed her. Her car is gone.
Oh. Oh, well, thank you.
You're quite welcome. Good evening.
Evening. The butler says she's left.
Impossible. I would have seen her go.
Only if she used the front gates. There's 1,000 acres here. She could have used the service road. Let's go.
There. Isn't that a car?
Yes, sir, but what's it doing at the crypt?
Well, let's find out.
Ooh, I was afraid of that.
Afraid it was open?
No, that it would creak. It scares the hell out of me, if you must know, sir.
Me too.
Who is it? Webley. That's impossible, sir. Those lions. I mean, he's supposed to be in there or whatever left of him. Commissioner, an airplane?
I'll drive.
Is there any law on a person going up in their own airplane?
No, but there's a law of murdering a person.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We just found Ewing's body. I know all about the money in Caracas, the investments in the Severio Gonzalez Development Corporation in both your names. Walter delivered it for you, and he didn't even know anything about it, did he?
No.
Put the gun away.
Ewing used him the way he used everybody.
Commissioner, I still don't understand about Mr. Webley's body in the crypt.
He was alive the whole time. That is, until a few minutes ago. He persuaded Silverio Gonzalez to impersonate him, didn't he?
Yes. He dressed Silverio up in his own clothes and sat him behind the desk in the library.
And killed him. Then when Astroff came in, he saw him slumped over in the chair, dead, and he panicked. But he didn't get very far. Who shot him, Rachel? You?
Ewing. He planned the whole thing.
He certainly underestimated you. He never would have guessed you'd have killed him.
I could have had all of it. All $10 million. Plus my freedom.
Pretty Rachel. Let's go.
Well, who sold those vases to the antique dealer?
Rachel. Then Ewing killed him and Call the police.
Boy, she had us on a wild goose chase the whole time, sir.
It was his idea to make us think that she was in on it with Astroff.
Well, who tried to run you off the cliff?
Ewing. I didn't think Astroff killed the antique dealer. I told that to Rachel. She told it to Ewing, and he tried to kill me.
Now, the only thing I don't understand, sir, is about the money.
He invested it in the Silverio Gonzalez Development Company. Then, having assumed the identity of Gonzalez, he could pull out of Caracas anytime he wanted with the money and Rachel and live happily ever after.
Oh.
Got that?
No.
Oh.
But I'll sleep on it, sir.
We'll go over to get the board.
Okay. Thanks for the coffee, sir.
You're welcome.
Oh, Commissioner? Do you really think I'm cute?
Rachel told me to tell you.
Oh. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Harvey, is anybody looking for a game?
Not that I know of, Mrs. McMillan.
Oh, do you want to play?
Me? I can't stand the game.
Sally,
Mac, I didn't expect to see you. Why don't you change? We can play.
I have a gift for you. Granted, he might not be a tall, green-eyed Romeo, but at least he can help you with your backhand.
Oh. Bobby Riggs?
Who'd you expect? Billie Jean King?
Oh, you guys.